Chapter 499. Sir, I've told you everything I know. Outside Iris City, Wu Su begged for mercy, still in a daze. These people's questions were not normal. However, these people did not look like they were from the land of rebirth. He was a rank 5 martial artist and had been in contact with the land of rebirth martial artists for a long time. He believed that he would not mistake them for someone else. Fong Ping grinned. What are you looking at? We're from the Monster Life clan. If the Monster Plant clan wants to reap benefits from the bounded domain, they have to ask us first. As soon as he said that, Wu Su's pupils shrank. People from the Monster Life clan. Yes, those powerhouses from the restricted area who came earlier were all powerhouses from the Monster Plant clan. Now people from the Monster Life clan were here too. No wonder. Just as Wu Su was in shock, Fong Ping laughed again. We destroyed Rose City too. The Monster Plant clan is so bold. How dare they swallow the benefits of the bounded domain? Destroying Rose City was just a small warning. Wu Su's pupils shrank again. Fong Ping said again, Our 8 kings have already gone to the bounded domain to kill the bastards from the Monster Plant clan. Wu Su's eyes were almost like dead fish eyes. His pupils shrunk almost to nothing. Then he could not hide anymore. Fong Ping crushed his internal organs with one palm. He was completely dead. Qin Fengqing saw this and said impatiently, Can you change your bad taste? This guy really had a bad taste. Every time, he would make people die in shocking lies. He was already dead, yet he did not give people peace. His conscience was so black that there was no end to it. Fong Ping grinned. We have to prevent them from coming back to life. This way, even if they really come back to life, we won't know what happened. How safe? As he said that, Fong Ping looked at Wang Jinyang and said, The people from the restricted area have only left here for 2 months. According to him, the people from the restricted area will pass by a city and stay for a few days. It will not be long before they reach the bounded domain. He also said that we don't know if those people are still alive. Maybe Teacher Zhang is fine? Wang Jinyang sighed softly and looked to the west. After a while, he said, From here to the bounded domain, there is still close to 3,000 li. We will pass by 3 royal cities and countless affiliated cities. We will also pass by a restricted area. It was too far and too dangerous. Moreover, so what if he went? According to Wu Su, there were 3 level 9 powerhouses and 5 level 7 and 8 powerhouses in the restricted area. It was a high-ranked team of 8 people. The second batch of escorts was led by a strong commander from Rose City. When they passed by other cities, they were also escorted by commanders from other cities. There were at least 3 or 4 people, and this was just for the sake of safely reaching the domain. For the third batch, although Rose City didn't send a commander, the other cities did. This was because going to a domain was very dangerous. Not only was the domain dangerous, but the journey was also dangerous. At this moment, there were probably more than 10 high-ranked powerhouses in the restricted areas and Royal City in the bounded boundaries, with so many experts present. So what if Zhang Qingnan was there? So what if he was alive? Could it be that he could snatch the hostage from the hands of these people? In order to find Zhang Qingnan, they had put everyone in danger. Previously, it was already extremely dangerous in Royal City. Now, they had to go to an even more dangerous domain. Wang Jinyang sighed and said, Forget it, let's not look for him anymore. He gave up. Although he did not want to give up, the current situation forced him to give up. As soon as he finished speaking, Qin Fengqing said with a straight face, How can we do that? Since we're here and know Teacher Zhang's whereabouts, if we give up just like that, isn't that putting us in a bad position? Old Wang, even if Fong Ping doesn't go, I'll go with you. Wang Jinyang smiled bitterly and said, Forget it. Also, Don't say these things under the guise of helping me find my teacher. I won't accept this favor. This guy was bent on digging his own grave. He could not afford to accept this favor. Qin Fengqing was speechless. He looked at Li Hansong and said, "Ironhead, what do you say?" Li Hansong said gloomily, "Let's listen to Fong Ping. Even if we want to go, we can't. Without Fong Ping's help to conceal his aura, they might be hunted down by the catacombs' martial artists before they even reached the domain. Under the siege of many royal city, would the catacombs' martial artists let go when they encountered human martial artists?" Fong Ping rubbed his chin and said in a low voice, "This journey is indeed very dangerous. It's a few thousand miles." But Fong Ping gritted his teeth and said, "Brother Wang, since the goal this time is for Teacher Zhang, if he really dies in the domain, at least help him return to his roots. When the time comes, we'll decide based on the situation. If there's no chance, then we'll give up on the rescue. If there's a chance, we can give it a try. Don't forget, we have people over there too." "You mean people from Star Town?" Fong Ping frowned and said, "Star Town came to the catacombs, this time to go to the domain and retrieve the remains of the Yang family's elder ancestor. As for the people from the restricted area, I'm guessing that they might also be after Absolute Peak's remains. Star Town has the elder ancestor guarding Mount Royal Sea. I don't believe that they won't have the slightest confidence to go to the domain and compete with the other party. Obviously, they still have some confidence. If that's the case, then this is our chance. We can't count on the people from Star Town to save Teacher Zhang for Absolute Peak's remains. These guys might not even participate in the war, let alone a few captured middle and low-ranked martial artists. As for why the people from the restricted area are bringing Teacher Zhang and the others to the domain, Fong Ping thought for a while and said suddenly, "You think it's to scout the way or something? Or maybe the remains of human Absolute Peak can only be touched by humans and the people from the restricted area will fight back or something? Of course, it's useless to speculate about these things. What I mean is, if that's the case, they won't deliberately kill human martial artists, unless the human martial artists themselves encounter a crisis and die." Wang Jinyang said in a low voice, "Fong Ping, this matter has been my personal selfishness from the beginning to the end. If you want to return my favor because of what happened in Sun City previously, actually, the moment we entered the catacombs in Tianan, this favor has already been repaid." Fong Ping chuckled and said, "Actually, it's not all. I also want to go to the domain to take a look. I want to see what exactly exists in the domain that these rank 9 and even Absolute Peak can't forget about. Previously, I said that the domain is a real immortal world with countless good things. This time we entered the catacombs, we didn't get anything good. Since we're here, we can't return empty-handed." Of course, Fong Ping looked at Qin Fengqing and Li Hansong and said, "Both of you, don't go. It's too dangerous." Qin Fengqing coughed dryly and said, "I'm not afraid of danger. I'm a very loyal person." Fong Ping was speechless. "Who cares if you're dangerous or not? What I'm saying is, if you go, you'll drag us down. 2 people is much smaller than 4 people. The danger is also relatively smaller. Don't, Fong Ping. Bring me along." Fong Ping frowned and said, "I'm not joking with you. It's really much more dangerous. As long as you're 1,000 meters away from me, I won't be able to help you conceal your auras. Once you're exposed, you'll almost certainly die. It's better if there are fewer people, but if there are more, how can we guarantee that we'll be together at all times?" Li Hansong heard that and said, "Then I won't go." "You're right. Even if we go, we won't be of much use. I'm only rank 5. Even the high ranks in the domain are full of danger. I'll only be a burden if I go." Qin Fengqing was silent for a moment. He mumbled, "So, you've decided not to bring me along?" "That's right. You think I'm too weak and will drag you down? Yes. You're so straightforward. Can't you put it in a nicer way? I'm telling the truth. Besides, you're thick-skinned. If I don't say it in a straightforward way, it'll be troublesome for you to pester me. Qin Fengqing cursed under his breath. He thought for a while and said, Then I won't go with you. Give me some high-ranked energy stones first. Don't tell me you don't have any left. Fong Ping did not waste any time. He fished out a few high-ranked energy stones and threw them at him. Qin Fengqing said again, Give me some medicinal pills too. Those that heal wounds. It'll be better if they have life essence. Fong Ping could not be bothered with him. After thinking for a while, he threw a bottle of healing medicinal pills at him. Seeing that, Qin Fengqing said again, Why don't you give me some? Get lost. Qin Fengqing curled his lips. If you don't want to give, then don't give. Why are you scolding me? Besides, I still have 3 billion with you. Fong Ping said no more. He looked at Wang Jinyang and said, Brother Wang, let's go together. Wang Jinyang said in a low voice, If I go, he wanted to ask if he would be a burden if he went. However, if he did not go and let Fong Ping go alone, that would be even more inappropriate. Fong Ping knew what he was thinking. He chuckled and said, Brother Wang, it's still necessary for you to go. If it really comes to a critical moment, like when I'm seriously injured and on the verge of death, I'll have a little more confidence if you're there. When he said that, Wang Jinyang did not know whether to laugh or cry. He understood now. If he was really seriously injured, he could also injure himself and recover some imperishable substances to save his life. This way, he would not be too seriously injured to the point where he would not even have the strength to escape. Thinking of this, Wang Jinyang nodded and said, All right, let's go together. If there's really an emergency, your priority is to stay alive. Teacher, and you don't know each other. There's no need for you to throw your life away for this. Fong Ping chuckled and said, Even if you don't say it, I'll do it. I'm not that noble. If there's really a danger, forget about Teacher Zhang. Brother Wang, we're both looking for a way to survive. Don't blame me for leaving you behind in the face of danger. That won't happen. After the two of them had discussed these matters, Wang Jinyang looked at the two of them and said, I've troubled the two of you this time. I'll go with Fong Ping now. You two wait until it's dark and return to Tianan. This time, Wang Jinyang, have come back alive. If you need anything next time, feel free to look for me. We're brothers. Let's not talk about this. Be careful. I will. Qin Fengqing didn't speak until the two of them were about to leave. Then Qin Fengqing mumbled, Damn, he really isn't bringing me along. I really want to kill all of you. Although he said that, Qin Fengqing still opened his mouth to say, When you go to the domain, don't dig holes. There seems to be some kind of sealed domain there. It was a protective shell that separated the domain from the catacombs. If you were to dig a hole, there would be a sealed realm underground, and you would be easily killed. Thinking about the sealed world, forget it. I don't know how to get there either. You can try asking the people from Startown. They seem to know how to get there. Only after passing through the sealed world could one be considered to have entered the domain land. Fong Ping, remember to share some of the benefits with me. Fong Ping was speechless. He said gloomily, So you still want to hide it from me and kill me? In the beginning, I was the one who said I wanted to go. You didn't say anything. Why would I tell you? Are there any other secrets? Yes, but I won't tell you. Fatty Jiang told me about a top-secret place. There are a lot of benefits. Fong Ping's face was full of disdain. Only a ghost would believe that. Jiang Chao knew about the top-secret place of the domain land. That would be a ghost. Without further ado, Fong Ping looked at the two of them and said, Be careful, Qin Fengqing. Stop fooling around. Return to Sky South City as soon as possible, and then go back to the surface. You hear me? I know, I know. I'm not a child. Qin Fengqing looked impatient. He waved his hand, too lazy to pay him any attention. Fong Ping did not say much either. He started walking west with Wang Jinyang. After they had walked for a while, Qin Fengqing cursed again. You really didn't bring me along. I've been given the cold shoulder. Li Hansong chuckled. Me too. Besides, you're weak to begin with. You don't know sh*t. Qin Fengqing swore. I, Qin Fengqing, have roamed the catacombs for so many years. I'm the only one who gives the cold shoulder. This time, I've been dragged down by someone. What a joke. Having said that, Qin Fengqing looked at him and said, You go back first. I'm going to walk around. Li Hansong looked at him and said in surprise, You're still going to rob? It's very chaotic now. Without Fong Ping. So what if I don't have Fong Ping? Qin Fengqing said disapprovingly. Before he entered MCMAU, I was already roaming the catacombs. Can't I live without him? Ironhead, do you think I'm a greenhouse flower like you? When I was rank 3, I could roam the catacombs freely. I'm already rank 5 now. Stop talking nonsense. I'm leaving. Where are you going? Why you care where I'm going? Li Hansong watched him walk away. His expression changed slightly. He said, Don't do anything stupid. Don't bother me. Don't follow me. Qin Fengqing. Li Hansong hurried to catch up. He said, Seriously, where do you want to go? This is the direction to the Forbidden Sea. Don't tell me you want to go to the bounded domain through the Forbidden Sea? Thinking of this, Li Hansong's expression changed drastically. He said in a low voice, The edge of the Forbidden Sea looks calm, but it's the most dangerous place. Even high-ranked powerhouses don't dare to go to the edge of the Forbidden Sea. Even if they do, it's only a small part of it. The people from Star Town walk the edge of the Forbidden Sea. The danger has been cleared. You're crazy. You really want to go to the bounded domain alone. Li Hansong was stunned. He was just testing Qin Fengqing. He did not expect Qin Fengqing to really have this idea. Qin Fengqing said as he walked, Riches come from danger. I came here this time for the sake of the domain. Only by going to the domain can I hope to enter the martial scholar realm in a short period of time. Otherwise, with my aptitude, even if I can eat origin stones like fruits, it will still take more than 10 years. 10 years. Based on the current situation, it'll be too late. Fong Ping won't bring me along. It's not like I don't have legs. It's too dangerous. Which part of the catacombs isn't dangerous? Can you guarantee that I won't meet a high-ranked on the way back to Sky South City and kill me without a second thought? Entering the catacombs is a gamble with your life. I'll bet on a place with a greater reward. Li Hansong was speechless. He watched him walk further and further away. Just as Qin Fengqing was about to disappear, Li Hansong suddenly chased after him, gritting his teeth. I'll go with you. Qin Fengqing turned his head to look at him. He sneered. Stupid, right? You're an ancient powerhouse resurrected. Your future is destined to be limitless. You're different from me. I'm a gambler with a worthless life. You want to come with me? Gamble with your life? You're destined to become a grandmaster. Your golden bones have recovered. Maybe you'll reach rank 8 soon. What do you want to gamble? Gamble that you'll become a grandmaster in 1 year instead of 3 years? I can afford to gamble because I might not have any hope of becoming a grandmaster. It's not worth it for you to gamble. Li Hansong said in a low voice. Since you, Qin Fengqing, dare, why can't I? What do you mean destined to become a grandmaster? Li Hansong, don't think I'm weaker than anyone, and I'm not less courageous than anyone. You're only a middle stage rank, 5. I'm about to reach rank 6. You dare, but I don't. Not to mention, you ran faster than me before. Now, You can't run as fast as me. I just outrun a rank 7 monster. Also, Fong Ping brought Wang Jinyang with him as a life-saving pill. Don't forget, I have imperishable substances too. Qin Fengqing looked at him for a while. He suddenly squinted and smiled. Iron Head, are you sure you want to come with me? Of course. If I die, everything will be gone. Martial artists have always been walking on the edge of death. All right. Qin Fengqing was suddenly filled with heroism. He laughed. Then, let's do something big this time. Fong Ping dares to look down on us and treat us like a burden. Let's go back and sweep the bounded zone. Let him run wild. Ironhead, if I don't die this time, I'll go back and help you find your storage ring. Next time, let's go to the catacombs together. I'll rob people, and you can just follow me like a moving warehouse. If we get anything good, we'll split it 50-50, no, 60-40. I'll take 60, and you take 40. Don't worry, I'm fair to Fong Ping. That guy is too stingy. He gets 50%, you get 20%, and I get 10%. How despicable. Li Hansong muttered, You're not as strong as me. What's the use of being strong? Grandmasters are stronger than us. You want grandmasters to bring you along to rob? I'm a famous treasure hunter. No good stuff can escape my eyes. Fong Ping, not bringing me along is the biggest loss of his life. Li Hansong was silent for a while. As he walked, he suddenly said, Qin Fengqing, do you think you're the reincarnation of the legendary Erlang Shun's dog? Qin Fengqing stopped in his tracks. Then his face darkened. He pulled out his saber and was about to slash him. You're the dog, and a female one at that. I'll slash you to death. As Li Hansong ran, he explained, It's true. I'm being serious. Fong Ping said that we're the reincarnation of heavenly court powerhouses. You might not be a powerhouse. Cough, cough. What I mean is, you're really good at treasure hunting. They say that a dog's nose is the sharpest. You might be a divine dog. You're still talking. Stop fooling around. We're still near Iris City. Li Hansong hurriedly stopped him. He could not help but say, Even if you're not a howling celestial hound, could you be another divine beast? Without imperishable substances, maybe you're a reincarnation of a rank 7 divine beast. With strong mentality, you might be resurrected too. Don't run. I'll kill you. Qin Fengqing was furious. Why am I a beast resurrected? You better make it clear. Meanwhile, Fong Ping looked back. His eyebrows twitched slightly. After a while, he said, Qin Fengqing and the rest have gone back, right? I think so. This guy can't forget about the bounded zone. With his dog temper and fearless personality, will he really go back obediently? Wang Jinyang hesitated. You mean Fong Ping shook his head and said nothing more. That guy, he wouldn't be so suicidal, would he? Without him bringing him along, if he wanted to go to the bounded zone alone, it would be extremely dangerous. He did not care about them anymore. Now that he was only bringing Wang Jinyang, Fong Ping did not hesitate anymore. He rose into the air, his energy aura revealed. He smiled and said, Let's go. We'll fly over openly. Just say that the royal city has been destroyed. We're going to inform Commander Qing Hong to return to the royal city. Wang Jinyang was stunned, but he did not hesitate anymore. He rose into the air. Fong Ping changed his aura. It was the aura of a Rose City rank 5 martial artist. After that, the two of them rose into the air and flew toward the west. After flying for more than an hour, a city appeared in front of the two of them. Fong Ping began to take a detour. The two of them flew over with such great fanfare. In the vicinity of the city, they were quickly noticed. A powerhouse rose into the air from a subsidiary city below, bellowing, Who are you? Using flight step without permission. Before he could finish, Fong Ping's eyes were blood red. He bellowed furiously, "We are the Rose City Royal Guards. The royal city has been destroyed. We're going to the bounded zone to inform the Lord Commander. How dare you stop us?" Rose City Royal Guards, the powerhouse in the air, paused. He knew that something big had happened last night. However, before the news reached him, he did not expect that Rose City had been destroyed. Hearing this news, the person's expression changed drastically. Seeing that Fong Ping was ready to risk his life if he dared to block his way again, the person in the way coughed softly and said, "If that's the case, both of you must be careful on your way. Also, no matter how urgent the situation is, the royal city cannot be crossed. Otherwise, the Lord in the royal city will not sit and do nothing. Thank you." Fong Ping did not waste any time. After saying that, he sped away at an extremely fast speed. Seeing how hurried they were, the person in the way sighed softly. "I didn't expect Rose City to be destroyed." As he said that, he shook his head, his expression full of pity and sympathy. As for Wang Jinyang and the other person in the distance, old Wang looked at Fong Ping with admiration. Disregarding everything else, just the ability to lie without blushing or panting made him feel ashamed of his inferiority. His expression was on point too, that mournful, "If you stop me again, I'll fight you to the death" attitude just now was not something an average person could pull off. After flying for a distance, when there was no one nearby, old Wang coughed softly and said, "Fong Ping, does MCMAU have an acting department?" "What? That acting department? Or the training courses for actors?" "Brother Wang, I've always called you Brother Wang. I don't like to get carried away, but from now on, you're Old Wang." "Old Wang, I risked my life to accompany you 10,000 miles to save your master, and you're still mocking me. Where's your conscience?" Wang Jinyang did not know whether to laugh or cry. He said helplessly, "I'm not mocking you. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed." "Do you think I believe you? You're mocking me. I'm really not." "Old Wang, why do I feel like you're just making a fuss? You just want to call me Old Wang a few times?" Cough, cough. "Is that so? Old Wang, you're such a schemer. I've never thought of it that way." Wang Jinyang was powerless and did not want to speak again. "Old Wang, so be it. Call me whatever you want." Speaking of which, the feeling of flying freely in the catacombs was really great. In the past, the most he could do was fly in his own territory. Once he left his territory, he had to hold it in, hide, and hide. This was the first time he had flown in the sky above the catacomb cities in such an arrogant manner. Fong Ping did not stop in some small towns. When he encountered some affiliated cities, Fong Ping would bluff them a little, and no one would stop him. Other than not flying above the royal city, Fong Ping was practically unrestrained. Not only that, when he flew to the second royal city, he even deliberately flew one round at the royal city's gate and borrowed some energy stones from a rank 6 battle general. He said he wanted to recover his energy and report the news to the land of boundaries. When the rank 6 battle general heard that Rose City had been destroyed, not only did he borrow some energy stones, but he also specially escorted them, reminding them to be more careful along the way. Wang Jinyang really had to give it up. Before he entered the catacombs, he would not have dared to imagine such a scene. A royal city battle general escorting. He could even ask someone to take the initiative to give him some energy stones. Other than Fong Ping, no one at the pinnacle could do this. Compared to Fong Ping and the other 2 impostors, the real Rose King was more cautious. He brought along a few subordinates and was extremely vigilant along the way, afraid that they would cause a commotion and be discovered. If someone discovered that he was heading to the land of boundaries, he was afraid that something big would happen. Chapter 500. The boundary zone was more than 3,000 li away from Iris City. Both Fang Ping and Wang Jinyang were very fast. Ever since he entered rank 6, Fang Ping could reach 500 li per hour at top speed. Of course, this kind of high-speed flight was also very taxing on the body. Unless he was running, Fang Ping would not do it. Fang Ping could still burst forth with a faster speed during a short escape. Wang Jinyang was not slow either, but both of them did not maintain their maximum speed. Right now, both of them maintained a speed close to 300 li per hour as they headed west. Along the way, not only did they encounter the catacombs' human cities, but they also encountered some mountains, rivers, lakes. They even encountered high-ranked monsters showing off. The catacombs was very dangerous. Sometimes, even if Fang Ping released his mentality, he could not detect the danger in time. Just like back in Magic City's catacombs, when Jiao concealed its aura, Fang Ping could not detect its existence at all. Not long after leaving the Second Royal City, Fang Ping and Wang Jinyang encountered a crisis. Both of them passed by a forest. Fang Ping did not detect the danger in time, and a rank 8 monster released its pressure instantly. A few minutes later, Fang Ping, who was arrogant and despotic earlier, was dispirited. Right now, Fang Ping's face was as white as a sheet, blood flowing out of his orifices. If he did not release his mentality in time to block it, and the monster did not have the intention to chase after him, he would have died from the shock. Wang Jinyang was not much better than him. Although Fang Ping blocked most of the pressure, he was still affected by part of it. In a small kernel, Wang Jinyang looked at Fang Ping with a worried expression. He sighed. "How is it?" "I'm fine." Fang Ping forced a smile, but then said, "We can't fly so openly anymore. After the Third Royal City, there are no more royal cities in the West, and there are no signs of human activity in the catacombs. In the West, monsters roam freely, and there are also forbidden areas. We have to keep a low profile." Wang Jinyang smiled bitterly. "You're the one who wants to be high profile, but you're also the one who wants to keep a low profile." Although he thought about it, Wang Jinyang still said with a serious expression, "Wu Su had said before that every time a human warrior is escorted to the domain lands, there will be many commander-level experts escorting them, and they may not even arrive safely. These people go to the boundary zone, and when they reach the far west, they even start to walk, visiting every high-ranked monster and monster plant that occupies the mountain. Fang Ping, what should we do?" Those high-ranked catacombs powerhouses could also communicate with these beasts and monster plants. Everyone's status was still equal. High-ranked monsters and plants had intelligence and were willing to communicate with powerhouses of the same rank. However, Fang Ping and Wang Jinyang were only rank 5 and 6 martial artists. The other party might not give them face. The far west was full of territories occupied by high-rank demonic beasts and demonic plants. It was hard to avoid them. If we conceal our presence, it will be very difficult for them to discover us. Take to the skies. The higher the better. It's going to be dark soon, so we'll move at night. We'll directly cross the far west and enter the border of the domain." Wang Jinyang said in a low voice, "There are high-ranked beasts in the sky too." "I know, but there aren't many high-ranked beasts flying in the sky at night. The chances of encountering one aren't high. I can only take a gamble. In the catacombs, as Qin Fengqing had said, it was all a gamble. No matter what rank humans were at, unless they were at the peak, including rank 9 powerhouses, all actions were a gamble. Gambling with life and death. If a rank 9 went out alone, if he was unlucky, he might be surrounded and killed. If Fang Ping and the others wanted to reach the domain, they could only gamble on their luck." Wang Jinyang exhaled, softly. After a while, he said, "Also, after crossing the far west and reaching the domain, we still have to cross a small section of the Forbidden Sea tributary. That is the most dangerous place, Fong Ping, although I know it's useless to say these things now, I still want to say thank you. Wang Jinyang was very serious. This trip to the domain was full of danger, not to mention Fong Ping. Even grandmasters, rank 7 and 8, would not dare to come here alone. They might not even be able to cross the 3 royal cities. Not to mention the more dangerous Far West, the Forbidden Sea tributary, and the final destination, the domain. What's the point of saying all this? Fong Ping laughed. After resting for a while, he felt that his head was not as swollen and painful. He stood up and said, "Let's go, it's getting dark. Let's cross the Far West at night. Otherwise, it'll be very difficult for us to cross during the day." Even if he could conceal his presence, 2 living humans were not invisible. There were many beasts in the Far West. The probability of being discovered was very high. In broad daylight, the flight step was also a big target. As for digging a tunnel a few thousand miles, Fong Ping would not be able to dig it even if he dug himself to death. Not to mention, there were monsters and monster plants everywhere. There were also many monsters and monster plants living underground. The forbidden land where monsters and monster plants roamed was actually more dangerous than the royal city. At least the royal city was not that messy. After a while, Fong Ping and Wang Jinyang set off. Night fell once again. Day and night in the catacombs changed in an instant. There was no gradual process. The night was also extremely dark. This was Fong Ping's second night in the Tianan catacombs. And just as Fong Ping and Wang Jinyang flew over the 3rd royal city and entered the Far West, the 2 of them turned around and flew back. After fleeing desperately for a few minutes, they neared the 3rd royal city. Only then did Fong Ping gulp, cursing under his breath. What the hell? Just a few dozen li ahead, there was actually a group of flying monsters resting in the sky. Fong Ping had never heard of monsters not landing on the ground or landing on trees to rest at night. These flying monsters were actually resting in the sky. Moreover, the moment they neared, Fong Ping sensed the rank 7 monster's presence. That was the king of the clan. Wang Jinyang was also scared. It was not just one rank 7 monster there. There were thousands of flying monsters, and many of them were rank 5 and rank 6. If Fong Ping and he really barged in, they would not even know how they died. No wonder the escorts from Rose City are so slow. Wang Jinyang exhaled and said in a low voice, "What should we do? Take a detour?" Fong Ping looked around. If they took a detour, they would reach the edge of the Forbidden Sea further south. If they went north, they might pass by the Forbidden Land later. Of course, the distance between these 2 places was also very far. There was still a gap in between. However, there were flying monsters here. Were there no other places? After thinking for a while, Fong Ping said, "Let's fly to both sides and look for the gap. See if we can go around it." Okay, half an hour later, Fong Ping and Wang Jinyang returned again. At this moment, Fong Ping's expression was extremely ugly. He cursed under his breath. Is the Far West a monster nest? F***CK. There are monsters and monster plants everywhere. Just now, they flew more than 10 li south, ready to cross over. In the end, they had only flown for a short distance when the branches of a towering giant tree suddenly shook, whipping the void, almost whipping Fong Ping and Wang Jinyang down. The monster plants here were different from the monster plants of the Guardian clans. Usually, the Guardian monster plants would not uproot from the ground. In fact, they rarely moved and were like inanimate objects. However, the monster plants here were the wild ones. They would uproot and fly straight into the sky. Not only that, further south, 2 rank 7 monsters were fighting. Energy rays reflected in the void. No one knew if they were fighting to the death or playing. In the north, there were also monsters roaring in the forest, restless. The far west was more chaotic than Fong Ping expected. He thought that these monsters and monster plants would not move at night, but he forgot that most of these animals and plants were active at night. In such a mess, even if Fong Ping hid his aura, he still had to be careful of being affected by the aftermath. If they were affected, both of them would be easily discovered. Fong Ping pondered for a moment, turned his head to look at the royal city not far away, and suddenly gritted his teeth. Chaotic, right? Then it's even messy, eh? If it's a mess, I don't believe there won't be a place for us to walk. Fong Ping, what are you going to do? Old Wang looked at him cautiously. Fong Ping exhaled and said, What else can I do? Same old rules. Lure the monsters to attack the city, then take advantage of the chaos to pass through. It's too dangerous. It's the same, Fong Ping said in a low voice. Otherwise, we can only go to the edge of the Forbidden Sea or the forbidden area of Wanyao Mountain. These two places are more dangerous to me. There are only some rank 7 and 8 monsters here. Not to mention the edge of the Forbidden Sea, there are many rank 9s in Wanyao Mountain. As he said that, Fong Ping suddenly squatted down and began to dig a hole. Soon, he looked at old Wang and said, Brother Wang, you hide here for a while. I'll go and lure the flying monsters here. When the road is clear, wait for me, then we'll leave. You want to go alone? I'm a rank 6. My speed is faster than yours. If I unleash my full power, even a rank 7 would have a hard time catching up to me. It'll be more convenient. Wang Jinyong said no more. He wormed his way into the hole in silence, hiding all his aura. If one did not probe carefully or investigate deliberately, it would be difficult to notice that there was someone here. Fong Ping did not waste any time either. He used flight step and left. As soon as he left, Wang Jinyong, who was buried underground, had a determined look in his eyes. His bones suddenly began to disintegrate. Fong Ping said that Qin Fengqing was a burden. He was the same. He wanted to try and see if he could revive himself into a golden skeleton. If he could, he would have completed honing his bone marrow long ago. Perhaps he could achieve a golden skeleton physique that was stronger than Li Hansong's. When that time came, he would no longer be completely helpless against anyone below rank 7, even if he achieved mentality-vitality fusion. In the distance, Fong Ping first hid his aura and carefully approached the edge of the flying monsters. When he was near the edge, Fong Ping suddenly unleashed a catacombs martial artist's rank 6 wave. With a slash of his saber, a few flying monsters at the edge were killed instantly. Flesh and blood splattered everywhere. Caw! At this moment, in the central area, a crow-like monster screeched. Then, thousands of monsters began to attack Fong Ping. Fong Ping quickly turned around and flew toward the third royal city. His speed was so fast that there was even a sonic boom. Disregarding all consequences, Fong Ping's speed was not slower than that rank 7 monster. The sound of something breaking through the air resounded throughout the land in the dark night. In the distance, the huge city seemed to have heard the commotion. Very soon, a rank 7 aura rose. Fong Ping did not fly above the city. When he was close to the royal city, he suddenly hid all his aura. Then, he landed on the ground and disappeared without a trace. Behind him, a large group of flying monsters chased after him. They began to scream at the place where Fong Ping's aura disappeared. In the royal city, a rank 7 powerhouse came using flight step and shouted, "Black-winged Beast King, you've crossed the line." A Beast King was not necessarily a King Realm powerhouse. The strongest powerhouse of a clan could also be called a king. The royal city of the Far West Land had an agreement with the monsters of the Far West Land. Both sides would not invade each other. Now, the Black-winged Beast King had brought its clan and trespassed into the royal city's territory. It had already crossed the line. If it were not for the fact that the two kings in the city had not returned yet, a king realm powerhouse would have chased them away. Caw! A cry mixed with anger was heard. The crow monster was also extremely furious. Myriad Monster Mountain had ordered that the monsters of the far west land were not allowed to have conflicts with the humans of the royal city. However, that was under the condition that the other party had not entered the far west land. Now, it and its clan were resting when they were ambushed by the royal city martial artists. Some of their descendants were even killed. This made the crow monster furious. As for the royal city at the border of the far west land, the guardian monsters and king realm powerhouses had already left. The crow monster had sensed it long ago. Many chieftains and venerables in the city had also left. The crow monster was not afraid. At this moment, hearing the other parties scolding, the crow monster also cawed and roared furiously. In the sky above the city, the rank 7 powerhouse said angrily it was not done by the Naw City martial artists. Caw caw, insolence! I know all the generals and martial artists of my Naw City. That person just now is not from the Naw City. Caw caw! A man and a demon conversed for a while. After a while, the crow monster left angrily, bringing thousands of flying monsters with it. After all, this was the royal city. Although it was furious that a few middle-ranked monsters were killed, these monsters would not dare to attack the royal city unless it was absolutely necessary. Not long after the crow monster left with the herd, Fang Ping also sneaked away from below. As for taking advantage of this gap to cross the border with Wang Jinyang, Fang Ping felt that it was not too safe. If both parties met, it would be troublesome. Therefore, not long after the crow monster led the team back, it was ambushed again. It was the same routine as before. At the border, a few flying monsters were killed instantly. Just like before, Fang Ping continued to run in the direction of the royal city, disappearing without a trace in the blink of an eye. 2 consecutive times, in a rage, the crow monster bombarded the place where Fang Ping disappeared. It did not even bother about the rank 7 chieftain and led the team away again. Just when the crow monster and the royal city chieftain were extremely vigilant, guarding against the 3rd ambush further south, a towering giant tree rose into the sky, whipping the void, heading straight for the royal city. Not long after, to the north, a striped tiger roared, unable to restrain its anger. Fang Ping lit fires everywhere, taking the initiative to provoke them. After provoking them, he ran toward the royal city. However, the few monsters were more timid. After roaring for a while, they did not dare to attack the city and quickly retreated. Inside the royal city, there were already 2 rank 7 chieftains. They were extremely vigilant, not daring to leave the royal city's perimeter without permission, in case the monsters attacked the city. Not long after, the rank 9 monster aura energy stone guarding the lighthouse in a subsidiary city suddenly disappeared, stolen. After a while, dozens of monsters began to attack the city. This kind of thing did not happen only in one place. Before this place had calmed down, chaos broke out in another place. At this moment, Fang Ping suddenly discovered a good idea. As long as he stole the gigantic energy stone from those places that did not have high-ranked powerhouses guarding them, it would be very easy to attract the attention of the monsters without the suppression of the rank 9 monster plant aura. And this was also a trick that Qin Fengqing liked to use. However, Qin Fengqing could only snatch these energy stones by force. Fang Ping was different. He concealed his aura and approached quietly. Unless a powerhouse who could release mentality kept an eye on him, otherwise no one would be able to discover his whereabouts. The energy stone suddenly disappeared. That was because he had kept it in his storage space, leaving almost no trace. There were many monsters in the land of Far West. It was also easier to attract monster herds here. When Fong Ping attacked everywhere, the area near Na City began to fall into chaos. The battle cries were endless. Every city and city's distress signal kept rising. The monsters were rioting. Without the 2 king ranks guarding, there were only 2 rank 7 chieftains left in the city. At this moment, they did not dare to leave the royal city at all. Under such a situation, Na City, which had been peaceful for many years, seemed to be in a precarious situation. Chaos! Chaos! Far away from Na City, in the darkness, Fong Ping muttered in his heart. The more chaotic it was, the more advantageous it was for him. At this moment, Fong Ping felt a little regretful. If he still had a lot of energy stones, or if he had reached rank 7, this royal city would be finished tonight. It was a pity that the high-ranked monsters did not attack the city now. The 2 rank 7 chieftains were in the city as a deterrent. He did not know if there were stronger powerhouses underground. He dared not take the risk to go to the underground mineral vein. When I reach rank 7 or 8, these royal cities are almost free for me to plunder when the rank 9s are not in the city. However, it was rare for 2 rank 9s in a city to leave at the same time. At this moment, Fong Ping still did not know that the 2 rank 9s in Na City did not just leave. The monster that Nan Yunyue killed the first moment he entered the catacombs was actually the guardian monster of this royal city. The city lord was currently in another city thousands of miles away, not daring to leave without permission. A large number of killings and the soaring smell of blood caused the monsters in the entire land of Far West to be a little restless. While Fong Ping was lighting fires everywhere, somewhere not far away from him, Rose King almost cursed. Why did the land of Far West suddenly fall into chaos out of nowhere? Initially, he wanted to go over quietly. With his rank 9 strength, as long as he was careful, it would be easier for him to cross the land of Far West than Fong Ping. Although Fong Ping could restrain his aura, his speed was not as fast as him. His flight step was also not as high as him. In fact, it was easier for him to be discovered than him. But now, the situation was chaotic. There were monsters everywhere. It was not so easy to hide his whereabouts. After killing a rank 6 monster with 1 palm, Rose King's face was gloomy. When he saw a rank 7 monster flying over, he gritted his teeth and said coldly, "Let's do it together. Kill it quickly and cross the land of Far West quickly." At this moment, if they left this place, they would be discovered by this monster. If they did not leave, it would be even worse. As long as they got close, the monster would discover their existence very quickly. Only by killing this demonic beast would they be able to silence it and leave the Far West region as quickly as possible. King, the rest of them were visibly moved. Once they killed a rank 7 monster, the movement would not be small. Not only would it be easy to be discovered, it might also cause a stir in Wanyao Mountain, making the situation even more chaotic. Hurry up! Before Wanyao Mountain can react, I will have crossed the land of Far West. Rose King's eyes were cold. This time, it was either succeed or die. Entering the bounded zone was a big taboo. Now that things had come to this, even if Wanyao Mountain found out that he was the one who killed the commander-level monster. So what? Since Rose King had spoken, the others did not say anything else. When the monster flew over with flight step, a rank 9, a rank 8, and 2 rank 7 powerhouses attacked at the same time. At this moment, the monster did not have any strength to fight back. It was killed instantly. Boom! A loud explosion was heard. In the next moment, Rose King grabbed a few subordinates, rose into the air, and flew toward the west. They could not delay any longer. While Rose King was crossing the land of Far West with her people, the rank 7 monster was killed. Some high-ranked monsters nearby also noticed it. The mournful roar resounded throughout the vast wasteland. A large number of high-ranked monsters and monster plants began to gather near Tooth City. A commander-level monster was killed. Roar! Ga. The chaotic roar spread throughout the entire land of Far West. In the land of Far West, there were only 2 places that had the ability to kill a commander-level monster quickly: Tooth City and Wanyao Mountain. Wanyao Mountain would not do that. Then it could only be Tooth City. Although many monsters knew that the 2 monarchs of Tooth City had left, no one knew if the king of Tooth City had returned. If the rank 9 did not deliberately reveal his whereabouts, it was difficult for monsters like them to find out. A large number of monsters began to gather in Tooth City. As for Fang Ping, he stopped fanning the flames and found Wang Jinyang. As soon as he found Wang Jinyang, Fang Ping said with a pale face, "Take the chance to cross the land of Far West now." F***CK, guess what I saw? What? So many powerhouses. Just now, when Rose King killed the rank 7 monster, Fang Ping was not too far away from him. He hid his aura and did not move, so Rose King did not notice him. Fang Ping, on the other hand, could feel that extremely powerful energy fluctuation. It might be a rank 9 powerhouse. Fang Ping quickly rose into the air with Wang Jinyang and said quickly, "I seem to feel a familiar energy fluctuation. It's the aura of the rank 7 who fought with the giant horned beast in Rose City." Wang Jinyang's expression changed slightly. He asked in a low voice, "What do you mean, Rose City's rank 9? Fang Ping's eyeballs kept moving. He said quickly, "Rose City's rank 9 brought a group of people, killed a rank 7 monster, and flew west too. I'm afraid their goal is also the land of boundaries. Old Wang, what do you think they want to do? Are they going to help the people in the restricted area? But the catacombs powerhouses have a peace agreement with the monsters and monster plants. Why would they kill a rank 7 monster out of nowhere?" Fang Ping said these things quickly. At this moment, many of the monsters that blocked the way had gone to Royal City. Some seemed to be chasing after Rose King's group, which gave them a chance to cross the land of Far West. Wang Jinyang thought quickly and said, "You mean they are lurking here and don't want to be discovered?" "Yes. For the corpse of a peerless powerhouse. It's very likely," Fang Ping said, his eyes flickering. "If that's the case, the catacombs are not united. Otherwise, since someone from the restricted area has come, there's no need for him to come again." Fang Ping said quickly, "Forget it. Let's take this opportunity to cross this place first. We'll talk later." "All right." Both of them stopped talking. Taking advantage of the monsters and monster plants that blocked the way ahead to leave, they quickly began to cross the dangerous area. The land of Far West spanned thousands of miles. Even if they moved forward at full speed, it would take 2 to 3 hours. Fang Ping and Wang Jinyang were also very vigilant. The monsters and monster plants at the periphery had been lured away. There were no monsters in the central area or the western area. Fang Ping was looking forward to Rose King's group in front. They could attract more monsters and monster plants' attention, giving them a chance. As for the people from Rose City, why did they come to the land of boundaries instead of dealing with the aftermath of Royal City's explosion? Fang Ping had a rough idea. However, he did not know if he could make use of it. He would think about it when the time came. Chapter 501. That night, there was a riot in the land of Far West. Rose King and her entourage killed another rank 7 monster along the way, but it also caused quite a commotion. A large number of monsters began to chase this group of people. In the forbidden land of Myriad Demon Mountain, there were also rank 9 monster kings chasing along the way. Fang Ping and Wang Jinyang, on the other hand, were cautious, rushing along the way. Fang Ping made up his mind. If he obtained some energy stones in the bounded zone this time, he would come back to blow up the city. It would be a pity. A few royal cities did not seem to have rank 9 guards. Just as Fang Ping and his entourage crossed the land of Far West, Tianan City, Nan Yunyue and her entourage also retreated. Although they returned without any success this time, Nan Yunyue was extremely surprised. Looking in the direction of Rose City, she murmured, "Where's the city, Lord of Rose City?" Beside her, Zhang Weiyu also said with a strange look, "Not in Rose City. Not here. This is interesting." Just now, this group of people set out together, preparing to kill the 2 rank 9s in Rose City. In the end, they almost surrounded and killed the Rose. It was the powerhouses from the city behind who arrived in time, forcing them to retreat. But now, the situation was getting more and more interesting. In the midst of the battle, everyone realized that Rose King was missing. Previously, the Rose was going crazy, and the others did not notice it. The other party covered up the fact that Rose King was not there. But now, everyone realized that the Rose King had disappeared. At this moment, there seemed to be some turbulence in Rose City. A king suddenly disappeared. Where could he go? Rose King said that Rose King went to chase the culprit who destroyed the city, but did he need to go in stealth to do so? As a rank 9 powerhouse, would Rose King not have anything to chase the culprit who destroyed the city? Nan Yunyue and her entourage were still puzzled. In the Na City in the west, a rank 7 commander-level powerhouse was almost here, looking for the 2 kings to return. There was a riot in the land of Far West. Monsters began to attack the city. A commander-level powerhouse was extremely fast when he unleashed his power without any regard for his life. Although the distance between the 2 was extremely far, a rank 9 powerhouse's sensing range was also very wide. Of course, a rank 9 martial artist would not be able to sense the movement in Na City from here, unless rank 9 powerhouses fought, and a great battle broke out, the pressure shaking the sky. The fight between rank 7 and 8 would not affect them. However, when the rank 7 chieftain unleashed his full power, the city lord of Tooth City, who was a few hundred li away from Rose City, still sensed a familiar aura. In the next moment, this king's expression changed violently, and he turned around and left without even looking back. The expressions of the other experts who were still questioning the rose flower changed again and again. What now? In less than 2 days, 5 king realms had died. Rose City had been destroyed, and the Rose King had gone missing. Monster Feather City had been sealed off, and the 2 kings had not come out. Now, even the Tooth City seemed to be in trouble. The Tooth City was located in the extreme west. Could it be that the Wanyao Mountain had rebelled, while these catacombs kings were still thinking the Rodent King, who had already gone far away, suddenly unleashed a powerful psychic pressure? In the next moment, it led its subordinate commander-level powerhouses to the west without looking back. The Rodent King is gone. Bastard! At this moment, the other King Realm experts were furious. Another guy who ran away at the slightest disagreement. Out of the 22 King Realms, 5 were dead, and 2 were not leaving the city. Out of the 2 in Rose City, 1 was missing, and the other was playing dead without saying a word. Now, the Rodent King had also left. Here, other than the rose flower, there were 12 King Realm experts left. There were fewer and fewer people. What was going on? If this went on, something big would happen. The other Monster Life Clan powerhouses' eyes were also flickering a little uneasy. Monster Life Clan had suffered a great loss this time. Now, the Rodent King had left, and the Monster Feather City was not leaving. Only 3 Monster Life Clan powerhouses, 2 guardian monsters, and a city lord were left. Seeing that the three of them were wavering, a Monster Plant Clan powerhouse said angrily, "What are you trying to do? Do you really want to be caught in one fell swoop? Right now, we have more people than them. Once you leave, Iris King, this time, Monster Life Clan has suffered a great loss. Those who were killed were all Monster Life Clan powerhouses. The true king opposite Imperial Sea Mountain is a true king powerhouse of your Monster Plant Clan. You and the Land of Rebirth powerhouses really didn't have a secret agreement." At this moment, the only remaining Monster Life city, Lord said eerily, without waiting for the other party to speak, he said eerily, "Did you destroy Monster Life Clan's foundation in the 11 southern regions? Where did the Rose King go?" "Something big seems to have happened in Rodent City. Don't let me know that it has anything to do with the Rose King. Or else," having said that, the Monster Life Clan's City Lord powerhouse turned around and shouted, "Venerable Earth Dragon, go after them and ask the Rodent King what happened. Why did he suddenly leave? What happened in Rodent City? Did something happen in Myriad Monster Mountain? Or is it that someone is playing tricks in the dark, trying to do something?" As soon as he said that, a rank 8 powerhouse quickly flew toward the west. The 2 level 9 monster beasts also stood together with the King Realm expert with great vigilance, slightly distancing themselves from the expert of the Monster Plant Clan. Before this, they did not think much about the Monster Dragon King's suspicion. But now, 4 of the 5 dead King Realm powerhouses were from Monster Life Clan. As for the Monster Plant Clan, as the pro-war faction, they only had 1 dead, and the Rose King had disappeared without a trace. Was there something wrong with them? The restricted area true king opposite, Imperial Sea Mountain, was a true king powerhouse of the Monster Plant Clan. Currently, Monster Life Clan did not have a true king guarding the 11 southern regions. In fact, the true king of Monster Life Clan did not even care about this place. Without a true king holding the line, who knew what the Monster Plant Clan was thinking, the Monster Dragon King's words enraged the Monster Plant Clan powerhouses. For a moment, both sides were in a state of mutual hostility. But at this moment, the Monster Plant Clan powerhouses also knew that they could not fight among themselves. Even if they wanted to kill the Monster Dragon King right now, that would prove his words and cause great trouble. One should know that there were still 6 rank 9 monsters alive in Monster Life Clan. Over at Rose City, it was a little chaotic. Tianan City, Nan Yunue, and the others were also confused. Why did another person leave? The Rodent City Lord has left. Nan Yunue was also a little confused now. She frowned and said, could it be that he went to invite the monster beasts and monster plants of Myriad Monster Mountain to come out of the mountain? Zhang Weiyu frowned and said, there are 13 rank 9s on the other side now, but Rose City was severely injured previously. There are only 12 of them who still have rank 9 combat strength. Mayor Nan, should we? Nan Yunue said with a slight headache, the current situation is somewhat out of our control. Where did the Rose City Lord go? Did he really disappear, or is he hiding in the dark? Why did the Rodent City Lord suddenly leave? Will he come back when we're fighting? Nan Yunue was really having a headache. If the rank 9s on the other side were not separated but gathered together, she would not have so many doubts. But now, both sides were facing each other out of nowhere. A great battle could break out at any time. However, the other side left 2 rank 9s. This was a little confusing. She even suspected that there was a conspiracy. The situation in the Tianan catacombs is getting more and more confusing. Nan Yunue murmured. Beside her, Minister Wang coughed softly and said, don't tell me those kids are stirring up trouble again. Nan Yunue was speechless. Stirring up trouble? How could they provoke Rodent City? Rodent City is 2,000 li away from here. She did not even want to say it. Could those guys make it through? If something had happened in Iris City, she would have believed that these fellows were the culprits. But they were already in the far west. Where could those guys run to? Minister Wang thought about it and felt that it made sense. At this moment, Yang Daohong, who had been quiet all this while, suddenly said, "Chief Nan, Guardian Zhang, Deputy Commander Li, now that the Rodent King has left, I have to leave too." When he said this, Nan Yunyue frowned slightly. Now, the humans had 11 rank 9s on their side. Plus those rank 7s and 8s, they had a huge advantage against the other side. But with Yang Daohong's departure, there was one less rank 9. The advantage of the Rodent King's departure was instantly evened out. However, the bounded domain was indeed very important. Nan Yunyue sighed softly and said, "Although I really want Clan Lord Yang to stay, I've already made it clear before we came. If you want to leave, you can do as you please. However, Clan Lord Yang, please be careful." "Thank you." Yang Daohong did not say anything more. There was indeed no way for him to stay any longer. The others in Stellar Sky City had already left for a day. If he did not leave, these people would be in great danger. Yang Daohong soon left, walking along the edge of the Forbidden Sea. As he left, Nan Yunyue helplessly said, "With Clan Lord Yang gone, our advantage has diminished." "What a pity." As she said this, Nan Yunyue's expression turned solemn. "Everyone, although there have been many accidents this time, they have all developed in a direction that is advantageous to us. This is a rare opportunity. As I said before, focus on killing rank 9 monster beasts and monster plants. As for the other ranks, focus on killing monster beasts and monster plants. Only by killing these monster beasts and monster plants can we rapidly increase our combat strength." As Nan Yunyue said this, she looked at Wu Quishan and said, "Vice-Chancellor Wu, in this battle you have contributed greatly. Although the 2 rank 9 monster beasts were severely damaged, most of them were still preserved. We will first help you condense your divine weapon into a true rank 9 divine weapon. Later, Guardian Zhang and I will each restrain 2 rank 9s while the Rodent King is away. You guys surround Roseflower and the other rank 7 and 8 martial artists and monsters. Kill them all." Wu Quishan's gaze flickered slightly. His short sword was not a true rank 9 divine weapon. After all, his heart and brain were only rank 8. Although he had added a section of the Sky Gate tree's trunk in the later stages, it was still only a small section. Although it was stronger than a typical rank 8 divine weapon, it was still not as good as a true rank 9 divine weapon. Today, Nan Yunyue and the others had killed 2 rank 9 monster beasts, but they did not preserve too many valuable items. Even so, it was enough to help him condense a rank 9 divine weapon. After all, his divine weapon was not far from a true rank 9. Nan Yunyue saw that he did not speak and paused before saying, "However, to help you condense a rank 9 divine weapon, you and the other 2 from MCMAU have all used up your battle merits. Originally, I wanted to wait until we returned to apply for a batch of life essence for you. But now, a country had its laws, and a family had its rules. In this battle, everyone had contributed. There was no reason for Wu Quishan to take all the spoils in the end. That was unfair to the others. Even if it was important to increase Wu Quishan's combat strength, the 3 from MCMAU were not enough to exchange for these materials to help Wu Quishan condense a true rank 9 divine weapon. At this time, they had already made an exception. It was necessary during wartime. When the war was over, there would be no benefits for Wu Quishan. Wu Quishan heard this and laughed. That's how it should be. If not for the current situation, helping me condense a rank 9 divine weapon should not have been necessary. Since I've already taken advantage of you, I will naturally think of a way to deal with the subsequent matters. He was not the only rank 8 in the country. His life essence was limited. Although he had destroyed a large amount of imperishable substance, he was not dead. His combat strength was still there. It was just that the chances of advancing were slim. Because of this, the government might not be willing to pay a huge price to help him replenish those imperishable substances. After all, whether Wu Quishan could break through to rank 9 was also unknown. Using an incomparably huge price to gamble on the unknown, the government was rational, not emotional. The probability of gambling on this probability was not high, unless it was someone like Nan Yunyue, who gambled on the chance of advancing to the peak. The government would agree no matter how big the price was. This was a transformation that could really change the situation of the war. After Nan Yunyue said this, Lu Fengru wanted to say something but hesitated. In the end, she did not speak. At this moment, helping Wu Quishan condense a rank 9 divine weapon would increase his chances of survival. As for the follow-up, if he lost his life here, there would be no follow-up. Even if the imperishable substance was destroyed, he would not die immediately. Even if he could not advance to rank 9, being alive was the biggest hope. Lu Fengru glanced at Tang Feng and said in a low voice, "Your battle achievements. I will think of a way to compensate you later." Tang Feng grinned. "No need. When Fang Ping comes back, just ask him to get some life essence for me to replenish." Lu Fengru was speechless. "You're so King confident. I've never thought about this. What do you think? Besides, it's hard to say where those brats are now." Just as Nan Yunyue and the group were helping Wu Quishan condense a real rank 9 divine weapon. Fang Ping did not know that there were a lot of people in South Sky City who wanted him to help them get the life essence in the future. At this moment, Fang Ping and Wang Jinyang could not be more careful. Even so, the two of them were still targeted by a rank 7 flying monster. Flying, burrowing, playing dead, digging holes. In short, the two of them used all kinds of techniques. Only when their brains were about to explode did they escape the pursuit. Deep underground, Fang Ping panted. After a while, Fang Ping said with a face full of hatred, "A rank 7 monster dared to chase me like this. I will definitely raid its nest later. Oh Wang, I'm a rank 6 martial artist after all. This is only 1 rank higher than me. Why is it so bad?" When Old Manly was rank 6, he even dared to kill a rank 8. "This is too unfair." Wang Jinyang said weakly, "You still have the mood to talk about this at a time like this." Along the way, Wang Jinyang really had some faint thoughts of giving up. This was the way to come. What about the way back? This time, the journey to find a master was really a million times more difficult than climbing a mountain of swords and diving into a sea of flames. Rank 7 and 8 monsters and monster plants were everywhere. He had not met any rank 9 monsters yet, but he would probably meet them when he reached the boundary zone. If the teacher was still alive, did he know how many earth-shattering things he had done to find him? No, perhaps it should be Fang Ping. Did the teacher know how many things a young man he did not know had done to find him? However, after glancing at Fang Ping, Wang Jinyang felt a little helpless. This guy seemed to be quite excited. Did this journey to find a master give this guy a reason to indulge himself? Without the excuse of finding a master, Fang Ping might not have done these things. Not thinking about it anymore, Wang Jinyang said in a low voice, "We are more than 200 li away from the Forbidden Sea tributary. Should we rest for a while, or continue?" "Continue." Fang Ping licked his lips and said softly, "The people from Rose City are just ahead. Although they are faster than us, there are many monsters and monster plants blocking their way. Their speed is not much faster than ours. Don't lose them. See if we can trick them to death." For example, when they want to cross the Forbidden Sea tributary, they must be very careful. If we make a big commotion, can we trick them to death? Don't you mess around. Wang Jinyang's face turned green. This guy must be crazy. The Forbidden Sea was the catacombs' first forbidden land. Even if it was just a tributary, there were countless hidden dangers. If they messed around in the Forbidden Sea, even a rank 9 would die, let alone them. Fang Ping laughed. Don't worry. I said, if there's a chance. If there's no chance, of course I won't mess around. If I'm discovered by a rank 9, I can't even escape. I don't want to die young. Wang Jinyang warned, it's good that you know. Let's go. Don't talk nonsense. This time, let's have a good time. Enjoy the pleasure of crossing thousands of beasts without a single leaf touching us. Fang Ping said excitedly. You don't say. This environment is really exciting. Even the circulation of my vitality force and mentality is much smoother. Between life and death, there are great horrors, but there are also great opportunities. Wang Jinyang nodded slightly. He was about the same. Although he had not fought with monsters many times, this environment alone was enough to make people feel the danger of death at any time. This sense of danger also stimulated him to become stronger. At this moment, Wang Jinyang felt that if he was given a little more time, he might be able to step into peak rank 5 very soon. After chatting with Wang Jinyang for a while, Fang Ping dared not chat too much here. Very soon, both of them used flight step again, flying toward the west. This time, Fang Ping felt that he was really the son of destiny. Just as they were about to leave the far west land, Fang Ping and the others' route coincided with Rose King's party. After the coincidence, Fang Ping actually found a broken monster's carcass underground. Rank 7 monster. Fang Ping landed, extremely vigilant, but also a little excited. He stood a distance away from the carcass and could not help but say excitedly, the people from Rose City killed it. They didn't take it with them. That's right, they did not have a storage ring, and they were in a hurry to leave. Why would they take the carcass with them? At this moment, Fang Ping even remembered what happened before. At that time, the people from Rose City had also killed a monster. It seemed like they had just killed it and ran away immediately. Fang Ping felt a little regretful. He was a little scared at that time, so he did not dare to go over. Otherwise, he might have picked up another monster's carcass. In front of him was a monster's carcass with spotted leopard patterns. There were some big holes in the carcass, but it was still considered intact. Fang Ping glanced at it and said excitedly, the heart and brain are intact. The people from Rose City did not dig them away either. Does this mean the heart and brain are still there? They can be used to forge divine weapons? The other parties seem to have a rank 9 powerhouse with them. These rank 7 monsters might not have the chance to self-destruct. Looking at the monster's carcass, these 2 parts did not suffer too much damage. They probably did not have the chance to self-destruct. Thinking was just thinking. Fang Ping did not have the time to dig them up. He took a step forward and quickly collected the carcass. Now, the 50 cubic meters of space, together with some of the gains from before, was completely filled. If we encounter more monster carcasses, there will be no place to put them. Fang Ping muttered in a low voice. He did not stay for long and left quickly with Wang Jinyang. This time, Fang Ping really walked in the direction that Rose King and the others left. Maybe he could still pick up the carcass. Back then, Zhang Tao could pick up the carcass of a rank 9 monster plant. Fang Ping felt that he might be able to too. Of course, it would be extremely difficult for Rose King and the others to kill a rank 9. They might not have the chance. However, picking up a rank 8 carcass might not be impossible. Thinking was just thinking. Although they did not encounter any danger along the way, they did not encounter the opportunity to pick up the carcass either. At this moment, Fong Ping pulled old Wang and squatted down quietly, hiding behind a huge rock. In front of them, there was a river that was not too wide. At a glance, it seemed to be less than 1,000 meters wide. 1,000 meters was considered extremely wide for an ordinary river. However, the Forbidden Sea was boundless. In front of them was a tributary of the Forbidden Sea. It was only 1,000 meters wide, which was not considered much. However, it was this 1,000-meter-wide tributary that made the group stop in their tracks. About 2,000 to 3,000 meters away from Fong Ping and the others, a group of people stopped in their tracks. It was the group from Rose City. Previously, Rose City had 1 rank 9, 1 rank 8, 2 rank 7s, and 5 rank SIXS. However, right now, there were only 2 rank 6 martial artists left. The rest of them had already perished when they crossed the far west. Fong Ping and Wang Jinyang did not dare to move. Even their breathing stopped. Both of them peeked their heads out quietly. It was the first time they faced a catacombs rank 9, so close to a rank 9. Of course, it was Wang Jinyang's first time. Fong Ping had also come into close contact with catacombs rank 9 when he was in gigantic Willow City and Sky Gate City. Just as both of them peeked their heads out carefully, in front of them, Rose King suddenly lifted a rank 6 martial artist and threw him toward the opposite side. King! A shrill cry rang out. The next moment, in the calm Forbidden Sea tributary, a long black object suddenly shot out from the water, piercing through the rank 6 martial artist instantly. The long object wrapped around the corpse and fell into the water surface quickly, disappearing without a trace. Rose King was indifferent. After watching for a while, she suddenly walked to the right. After walking for about a few thousand meters, Fong Ping almost could not see the other party. At this moment, the shrill cry rang out again. Queen Rose tossed the other rank 6 martial artist out. In the water, another beam of light shot out, killing the rank 6 martial artist in an instant and disappearing with the corpse. Behind the boulder, Fong Ping wiped the non-existent sweat off his forehead. Was she testing whether there were monsters in the water or not? The Forbidden Sea's seawater was very strange. Mentality could not penetrate it, even rank 9 martial artists. Whether there were monsters in the water or not, one could not sense it when the other party did not emerge from the water surface. Rose King tossed 2 rank 6 martial artists consecutively, perhaps to test the water's safety. Even a rank 9 was so cautious, it was just a small tributary. With 2 rank 6 martial artists dead, there were only 1 rank 8 and 2 rank 7 martial artists left on Rose City's side. Fong Ping did not dare to look there directly, but he was staring at it from the corner of his eyes. Would Rose King use rank 7 and 8 martial artists as test subjects? Also, how would he and old Wang go over? Even a rank 9 was so cautious. Also, why did she not fly higher? Could it be that there were dangers at high altitudes, too? No matter how strong the monsters in the water were, they could not possibly kill a rank 9 in a few thousand meters in one move, could they? Why did Rose King not fly higher to cross the Forbidden Sea? Fong Ping stared at it carefully. He was unfamiliar with this place. Whether or not he could trick Rose King, and the rest, he had to figure out how to cross the sea. If flight step was dangerous, then he would have to be careful. Before this, Fong Ping was actually thinking of using flight step to cross. Fong Ping and Wang Jinyang did not speak. They did not dare to speak. Although they were a few thousand meters away, it did not mean that rank 9 powerhouses could not hear them. These people's skulls had long been honed. Even if they could not sense auras, they had sharp ears and eyes. It was not strange for them to hear sounds. while looking at Rose King and the rest from the corner of his eyes. Fong Ping was also looking at the opposite side of the Forbidden Sea tributary. In the dark night, the opposite side of the river was dead silent. Even Fong Ping's eyesight could not see too far. He only felt that it was a little frightening. In the distance, Rose King and the rest walked forward again. They gave up on this side and walked further away. Fong Ping did not follow them. When he could no longer see them, he said in a voice as low as a mosquito, "Let's follow them and see how they cross the river." Wang Jinyang nodded slightly. He and Fong Ping floated in the air, afraid that they would make a sound when they stepped on the ground. After a while, a few silhouettes appeared in front of them again. At this moment, Rose King was still holding two deer-like monsters in her hands. Their abilities were not strong, only rank 3 or 4. Fong Ping saw the Rose King being tossed out again. This time, the deer-like monster was knocked unconscious. It did not make a sound. As soon as the monster was tossed out, it was once again swallowed by a huge mouth that emerged from the water. Fong Ping could not determine the abilities of the monsters in the water. However, Rose King continued to leave, walking further away. This happened a few times. They walked more than 10 li in a row. A few high-ranked powerhouses from Rose City had also caught some monsters as pathfinders. Rose King seemed to have confirmed the place to cross the river. At this moment, Fong Ping's expression changed. Rose King, who seemed to be preparing to cross the river, also changed her expression. She turned her head to look behind her. In the pitch-black sky, a monster that looked like a pterosaur was flying through the air. Its rank 9 aura was exuding without restraint. Roar! A loud roar was heard. Rose King shouted, "Giant Wings King! I'm just passing by Myriad Demon Mountain and heading to the bounded zone. I have no intention of offending you." Roar! The roar became louder. In the distance, the pterosaur monster did not listen at all. He had killed a few commander-level monsters in the far west. Was this how he was passing by? A violent roar was heard. In the next moment, the pterosaur flew through the air, its 2 huge wings flapping violently. Fong Ping and the others were still very far away. At this moment, they also felt a huge force coming at them. They felt like they could not stand still. As for the few people from Rose City who were facing it head-on, other than Rose King, who did not move an inch, the other 3 could not help but take a few steps back. One of the rank 7 chieftains took a few steps back, approaching the calm river. In the end, before he could react, a huge claw emerged from the river, grabbed him, and dragged him into the water in an instant. The water rippled for a moment, then returned to normal. Fong Ping's face turned green. This was 2F * King Dangerous. What rank was the monster in the water? A rank 7 powerhouse was dragged away just like that. There was not even a ripple. Rose King's expression changed drastically. Obviously, he did not expect that there would be a powerful monster hiding in the place he had just probed. Not only him, even the pterosaur monster's movements were sluggish. Only then did he remember that this was the Forbidden Sea area, the first forbidden land of the catacombs. Even the Forbidden Zone was not as dangerous as this place. One could imagine how terrifying it was. A small tributary had subdued 2 rank 9s. Fong Ping and Wang Jinyang broke out in cold sweat. Chapter 5:02. Giant Wing King, are you really going to stop me? A commander-level powerhouse died, just like that. Rose King's expression was extremely ugly. Rose City did not have many powerhouses to begin with. Although they came with the mentality of winning or dying, the rank 7 martial artists were still useful in the future. Dying just like that was much more serious than losing a few rank SIXS. In the air, Giant Wing King roared continuously. Rose King's expression was ugly, continuing to shout, "I want to go to the bounded zone. Do you really want to fight with me here?" Giant Wing King seemed to hesitate. After a moment, he suddenly retreated a distance, but he did not leave. This time, it was Rose King's turn to be in a dilemma. Cross the river, or what? Giant Wing King did not leave, looking like he was watching a show. If he wanted to chase the other party away, he could only fight with the other party. However, if he did not chase the other party away, if he was ambushed while crossing the sea, then he would be in big trouble. It was only a distance of 1,000 meters. With full outburst, he could cross it in 2 seconds. However, for a powerhouse like him, 2 seconds was enough to decide life and death. Also, this place was very dangerous. He had to change places. Now that Giant Wing King was here, could he still go and capture monsters to test the waters? If he did not capture monsters, could he let the remaining rank 8 and rank 7 scout the way? Moreover, now that Giant Wing King had arrived, if he did not cross the sea to the bounded zone, would he still have the chance to go? Just as Rose King was in a dilemma, Fong Ping was looking forward to the 2 rank 9s fighting. Killing one was one. A dead rank 9 monster. Even if its heart and brain were dug out, Rose King would definitely not take the carcass away. It was also a good thing. If Rose King was killed, humans would have one less rank 9 enemy. It was also a good thing. At this time, Fong Ping still did not know that Rose King's body stored a large amount of life essence. Otherwise, he would probably want both of them to fight as soon as possible. It would be best if both of them died. However, these catacombs rank 9s were not so impulsive. A fight between rank 9s rarely happened unless it was a last resort. Unless it was against the land of rebirth martial artists. Rose King paused for a moment, bringing the remaining 2 trembling martial artists and continuing to walk to the right. After walking for a while, Giant Wing King also moved, looking like he was going to watch the show to the end. This made Queen Rose's expression turn extremely ugly. However, he did not care about Giant Wing King. This time, after walking a certain distance, Rose King instructed the remaining rank 7 to attack the surface of the water instead of letting the other party cross the river. Attacking the surface of the water was relatively safer. But in reality, the Forbidden Sea was very special. When a powerful attack reached the water's surface, it would be weakened countless times, unable to harm the demonic beasts in the water. This kind of attack could only be said to be better than nothing. Let's see if it can probe the existence of some demonic beasts. The rank 7 martial artist was also extremely careful, only starting to attack the surface of the water from a great distance. The powerful attack hit the surface of the water, but it only set off weak ripples. Rose Queen was very dissatisfied, but she had no intention of doing it herself. Demonic beasts were very vengeful. Once he attacked, it would be easy for the demonic beasts to attack him. Now, however, the one who made the move was this rank 7 martial artist. Even if there were really monsters lurking later, their first target would not be him. The Catacombs King realm was selfish to begin with. In Rose King's opinion, it was worth it to reduce the risk and lose a rank 7. The rank 7 chieftain attacked more than 10 times in a row, but there was still no movement on the surface of the water. Rose King turned her head and glanced at Giant Wing King, her gaze cold. Initially, she wanted to probe clearly before crossing the sea. Now, this was the only way. As a rank 9 powerhouse, even if there were really powerful monsters lurking in the water, they could forget about killing him instantly. As for the probing earlier, it was mainly to protect the few rank 7 and 8 martial artists around her. But now, at this point, if these people really died here, there was nothing she could do, not thinking about this anymore. Rose King waited for a moment, then said in a low voice, "Cross the sea here." "King, The remaining rank 7 chieftain was Commander Qinglan, whom Fong Ping was somewhat familiar with. At this moment, Commander Qinglan's eyes were full of fear. In front of him was the Forbidden Sea. Behind him was a rank 9 Beast King. Right now, the most dangerous person to cross the sea was none other than him. Earlier, his companion was dragged into the sea by a monster. That was at least a rank 9 monster. In this small tributary, who knew how many rank 9 monsters were hiding? Cross the sea. Rose King's expression was cold. She glanced at him. After a moment, she said, "Qinglan, you stay in the middle. I will support you from the back. Qinghe, you go in front." The rank 8 golden-bodied Qinghe did not speak. He did not have the guts to refuse. Walking in front might be the most dangerous, but it might also be the safest. If there were monsters in the sea, the probability of them attacking the person in front first was not high. Although Qinglan was anxious, he could not refuse at this time. He knew that if he dared to refuse, the king would definitely kill him. The few of them finished discussing. Rose King suddenly turned around, looked at Giant Wing King, and said coldly, "Giant Wing, if you dare to interfere, I will bring you along with me, even if I have to die." The giant wing beast was slightly dissatisfied, roaring. Further away, Fong Ping was a little excited. "I'll bring it along with me. This giant wing beast better not give up. Sneak an attack on him." Although he thought about it, Fong Ping still hid. He glanced at Rose King from the corner of his eyes, watching how he was going to cross the sea. After a moment, Rose King was ready. In the next moment, the 3 of them erupted with lightning-fast speed, shooting up and flying toward the opposite side. At the same time, there were monsters in the sea attacking as expected. The moment the 3 of them stepped into the air, countless tentacle-like flesh tentacles suddenly rose from the sea. The flesh tentacles attacked Commander Qinglan immediately. Commander Qinglan's expression changed drastically. He unleashed a powerful burst of energy, leaping into the air and shooting high into the sky. "Idiot!" Rose King seemed to have cursed under his breath. Fong Ping did not know if he was hallucinating. At this moment, Fong Ping had no time to pay attention to it. He only saw that the moment Commander Qinglan shot high into the sky, his body suddenly split into 2. His upper body disappeared abruptly, while his lower body was wrapped by the flesh tentacles and dragged into the sea. All of this happened in the blink of an eye. On the shore, Giant Wing King was not really watching the show. The moment the Rose Queen rose into the air, this fellow condensed an extremely dense amount of power of the heavens and earth mixed with a golden substance. On its beak, with a flick of its head, this extremely powerful mass of energy shot towards the Rose Queen. Damn it! At this moment, Rose King did not care about Commander Qinglan's life or death. He watched as the flesh tentacles began to attack him. Not only the flesh tentacles, but other monsters in the sea seemed to be attracted as well. At this moment, a giant claw and a golden crab pincer broke out of the water. The flesh tentacles, giant claw, and long pincer belonged to 3 monsters, all of them rank 9. The Rose King probably did not expect that there would be 3 rank 9 monsters hiding in the place she had chosen out of thousands of people. During normal fights, even if he really encountered 3 rank 9 monsters, he was not really that afraid. However, here at the Forbidden Sea, once he was entangled, there might be 5 or even more rank 9 monsters coming very quickly. Moreover, if he could not reach the other side quickly, and was eventually dragged into the water, even if he was also a rank 9, he would be in big trouble once he entered the water. In the water, he would not even have 1/10 of his strength. He would be killed very quickly. Sensing the danger, Rose King could not care less about settling the score with Giant Wing King. With a roar, A long sword suddenly appeared in Rose King's hand out of thin air. He swept the sword across. The flesh tentacles, giant claw, and long pincer were swept by this sword. Golden blood splattered instantly. The surface of the sea churned violently. By the riverbank, Giant Wing King roared hysterically. He roared hysterically. For a moment, he even wanted to kill his way to the other side. Even though he restrained his impulse, Giant Wing King did not give up. With a roar, a lifelike miniature Giant Wing King appeared out of thin air in front of him. In the next moment, this half-real, half-intangible Giant Wing King arrived at Rose King's feet, as if it had teleported. Boom! A sound that was not too loud, but it caused the void to tremble was heard. Evil creature! Rose King roared furiously, but his figure was blasted up into the sky. The long sword in his hand slashed out, once again slashing the flesh tentacles that were attacking him. Rose King's body, however, was shot upwards involuntarily. At this moment, Rose King roared again. An invisible giant hand grabbed the rank 8 powerhouse who was about to reach the other side of the river. With this pull, the rank 8 powerhouse could not help but take a step back. Rose King, on the other hand, took advantage of the situation and shot towards the other side. The rank 8 powerhouse who was pulled back let out an indignant roar. In the next moment, the attacks of the 3 monsters at the bottom of the sea arrived, piercing through the other party's torso in an instant. At this moment, this rank 8 golden body was still alive. Even the 3 rank 9s could not pull him into the sea for a while. The rank 8 Chingha's eyes revealed a hint of despair. He roared mournfully, "Bamboo Life, you're ruthless." With this mournful roar, Chingha's eyes revealed a hint of madness. His body flickered with golden light instantly, and a large amount of imperishable substance surged out. In the blink of an eye, an earth-shattering explosion was heard. Rumble, the flesh tentacles that pierced through his body were blasted into tatters. Rose King, who was about to reach the other side of the river, also staggered. Chingha's self-destruction was mainly aimed at him. A rank 8 powerhouse's self-destruction was not weak. At this moment, the explosion caused Rose King to spit out a mouthful of blood. However, Rose King also took this opportunity to reach the other side of the river in an instant, landing on the other side. As soon as he landed, Rose King turned his head to look at the place where Chingha self-destructed. He did not say anything. Instead, he looked at the Giant Wing King, who was roaring furiously, and sneered. "Are you curious why I have a divine weapon? Are you furious? Giant Wing, if I tell you that this came from the restricted area, what would you think?" Rose City is the first city outside of the Resurrection Passageway. I was fortunate enough to be rewarded with a divine weapon by the restricted area. Originally, I wouldn't use a divine weapon unless I had no other choice. You force my hand. Not only that, I'm not the only one who has a divine weapon. I don't know about the others, but everyone who came from the restricted area has a divine weapon. Giant Wing, go back and tell the Myriad Demon King that your clansmen in the restricted area might have been slaughtered to the last. Ha ha ha. Rose King laughed out loud. Giant Wing King, on the other hand, let out a mournful roar. His tail swept wildly, causing the ground to crack. On the other side, Rose King did not care about him. His body flickered with a rich life force. In the next moment, the injury on his back healed instantly. Without further delay, Rose King did not say anything else. His body moved and disappeared on the other side, quickly. Giant Wing King roared for a while again. Then he soared into the sky and flew toward Myriad Demon Mountain. After a long time, Fang Ping and Wang Jinyang walked out cautiously. Fang Ping swallowed his saliva. "I'm really amazing. I provoked the monsters and catacombs martial artists from the restricted area to fight again. Wang Jinyang was speechless. Are you sure you want to take credit for this? Fong Ping did not have any self-awareness. He muttered, "Does this count as me slaughtering all the Rose City martial artists? Now, other than this rank 9 city lord, I don't see the tutelary monster plant. Everyone else seems to be dead." In the huge Rose City, there were millions of people and hundreds of thousands of martial artists. However, at this time, other than the 2 rank 9s, everyone seemed to be dead. Fong Ping felt that he should take credit for it. After all, if he did not blow up Rose City, would these people really come to the restricted area? If I kill this rank 9 too, I will really destroy the city. Royal City. Wang Jinyang was speechless. You're still in the mood to think about this. How do we get there? It's too dangerous. Even a rank 9 almost died here. Fong Ping stopped thinking about the destruction of the city. He muttered, "Rose King has life essence on her." Fong Ping. Fong Ping waved his hand and said, "Don't be impatient. There's danger in the sky. It seems like a space-time rift. It directly sliced a rank 7 commander in half. Even a rank 9 doesn't dare to fly too high up in the sky. Therefore, it's not reliable to fly high up in the sky." Wang Jinyang could not help but roll his eyes. "Nonsense, I saw this too. Do I need you to tell me? There are rank 9 monsters underwater, and there are quite a few of them." Fong Ping rubbed his chin and said, "They're using aura to locate us? Using sound to locate? Or can you see above from underwater?" He couldn't see the situation underwater. The Forbidden Sea was somewhat mysterious. "If it's an aura, then we'll retract our auras and head straight over. If it was a sound, it would be fine as long as he kept the commotion down and moved. What I'm afraid of is that the monsters underwater can see us. If that's the case, we can forget about going over." Fong Ping thought of this and said, "Throw a rock over and see if they'll attack something without any signs of life." As he said that, Fong Ping picked up a rock. It was at least 1,000 meters away from the calm water. Only then did Fong Ping throw it with all his might. Bang! In the next moment, a tentacle stretched out and smashed the rock. Fong Ping's expression changed slightly. He said in a low voice, "Was it too loud? Or did they see it? If they really saw it, would they attack the rock? If that's the case, it's more likely that it's caused by the sound." Wang Jinyang saw him mumbling to himself and could not help but ask, "Fong Ping, are we really going over?" At this point, he was also a little nervous. It was too exciting. Below, there were many rank 9 monsters. The rank 9 monsters were all very careful. Fong Ping ignored him and continued, "That's not right. If it's really so dangerous, then how are the others going to escort those human martial artists over? Or do the people in the restricted area have their own ways?" Fong Ping could not figure it out for a moment. This Forbidden Sea tributary was so dangerous that even a rank 9 would find it hard to cross. Could it be that the others were here to die? There were many rank 7 and 8 martial artists in Star Town who were also preparing to come to the bounded zone. Could it be that they were also here to die? Star Town, the restricted area, there are rank 9 paragons. Rank 9 monsters and monster plants can release pressure and leave behind auras. Could it be that the monsters in the Forbidden Sea are also bullies the weak and fears the strong? They can cross the river easily just by carrying an item with a paragon's aura. Fong Ping seemed to understand something. Beside him, Wang Jinyang said helplessly, "Even if they can, we can't do anything if we don't have it." Fong Ping smiled and said, "Let me first determine how the others crossed the river. If I'm not wrong, it's probably like this. It's related to paragons. Otherwise, there's no reason for Rose King and her group to suffer such heavy casualties. In that case, the monsters under the sea are actually invisible. Otherwise, even if you carry a paragon's aura, it's not really a paragon. Once you see so many people and so many martial artists, some of them are very weak. This can be seen. Therefore, I determined that the monsters under the sea can only sense things from auras and sounds. As soon as this was said, Wang Jinyang understood why he wanted to guess how the others crossed the river. If Fang Ping's guess was right, then it was indeed like what he said. The monsters could not see the situation above the sea. In that case, as long as we don't make any noise, we can cross the river safely. As Fang Ping said that, he looked at old Wang and said, "Take off your clothes." "Huh. Clothes will make wind noise easily. After we take them off, the two of us can run naked in the air. If we move quietly and don't make any noise, it's not a big problem." Wang Jinyang's expression changed again and again. He was still changing his expression, but Fang Ping had already started to take off his clothes. Wang Jinyang smiled bitterly. How straightforward. Thinking about it, he also started to take off his clothes. As he did so, he said, "Let me cross the river first. Can't you cover up to 1,000 meters? Wait until I'm almost at the other side. Then you can cross the river." After all, Fang Ping's guess might not be right. What if the monsters could see people? Then they would die, for sure. Fang Ping glanced at him and said in a low voice, "To be honest, I'm just guessing. If I'm wrong, then it's over." "I believe you." Wang Jinyang chuckled. "Moreover, you're here for me. At this point, don't tell me I don't even have the guts to try it first. What you said makes sense. I think it's fine." Fang Ping thought about it and did not argue. He nodded and said, "If you die, then I'll go back. When I'm stronger, I'll come back again. I'll take care of your little wife for you." Wang Jinyang was speechless. As Fang Ping said that, he added, "Old Wang, take off your underwear too. I'll keep it for you. If you die, I can still erect a cenotaph." Wang Jinyang was extremely helpless. Could he not F*King say this? It would have been better if he did not say it. If he did, he would think that he was dead for sure. Without another word, old Wang took off his underwear. He glanced at Fang Ping and asked, "Why aren't you taking it off? If you die, I won't have to cross the river anymore. Then why should I take it off? If you're not dead, it won't be too late for me to take it off later." What he said made sense. However, seeing Fang Ping staring at him, old Wang could not help but curse in a low voice. "What are you looking at? Don't you have any?" Fang Ping grinned. "I do. It's more majestic than yours. I'm very proud of it. Get lost." Wang Jinyang had always thought of himself as someone who could keep his cool, but now he almost exploded in anger. Chapter 503. Jokes aside, old Wang stripped naked and prepared to cross the river. Fang Ping was also very nervous. His judgment wasn't completely baseless. However, it was his first time coming to the Forbidden Sea, and he still had to cross the river. If he made a wrong judgment, he would really die. Rank 7 and 8 died instantly. Old Wang might not be as tough as them. At this moment, Fang Ping's palms were also sweating. He looked at Wang Jinyang and said, "Be careful, forget it. There's no use being careful. You still have to die." "Shut up." Wang Jinyang's face darkened. "If you dare to speak again, I'll beat you to death." "Old Wang, don't be like this." "All right. Do you have any last words?" Wang Jinyang glanced at him. After a while, he humphed. "I'm really going to die. I'll do it again in a few thousand years. That's if you're not lying to me." Fang Ping was speechless. He said dryly, "If you die in the catacombs, you might not be resurrected." Wang Jinyang's gaze changed. He said in an extremely unfriendly tone, "Didn't you say that we only died when we fought them in the catacombs?" Fang Ping said blankly. Is that so? Humph. Wang Jinyang really wanted to chop someone up. Mother of asterisk cur, you said it yourself. Did you forget? Now, he was sure that this be asterisk starred might have been lying to him from the beginning. He still remembered that Fang Ping had told him for the first time that these people had died fighting with the catacombs powerhouses back then. Of course, this fellow did not say where he died. But this was not important. What was important was that this bastard Fang Ping was probably lying to him. It was only in the catacombs, in the Forbidden Sea tributary. Otherwise, he really wanted to fight this fellow to the death. I'm starting to believe it. You're actually F*** king, lying to me now. Wang Jinyang could not stop cursing in his heart. He was really about to explode from anger because of this bastard. If he knew this would happen, he would have strangled this bastard 2 years ago. Fang Ping coughed softly. He shook his head and said softly, maybe I can resurrect too, but who knows what will happen in a few thousand years. People of our generation only live in this generation. We only fight in this generation. Old Wang, don't die for real. I didn't die this time. We'll settle the score when we get back. Wang Jinyang cursed in a low voice. He didn't walk to the place where Rose King and the others had crossed the river. He continued to walk forward for a distance before he held his breath and started to walk on air. The moment he stepped into the air, Fang Ping began to pick up stones and shoot them everywhere. Bang, bang, bang. Tentacles and claws kept rising from the surface of the water. Fang Ping could not help but curse under his breath. These rank 9 monsters were so free. To think that he still had the mind to keep watch. Who would care if an ant crawled over a rank 9 from another family? These fellows, on the other hand, were all smashed to smithereens. Even though Fang Ping was speechless, he continued to toss rocks. The demonic beasts did not come out of the water and continued to attack. After throwing it over 100 times in a row, the opponent finally stopped attacking. Fang Ping was stunned. At this moment, he threw the stone again, but the other party stopped attacking. Fang Ping was shooting in all directions, not at Old Wang's side. However, Wang Jinyang also knew his purpose. At this moment, Wang Jinyang was also stunned for a moment, then turned around to look at Fang Ping. What the F***CK? That works too? After losing so many items, these rank 9 beasts actually went on strike. Fang Ping blinked and continued throwing stones. There was no movement. Still throwing. There was no movement. Continue throwing. There was still no movement. As for Wang Jinyang, at this moment, he was almost at the other side of the river, completely ignored by the demons. When he was about to reach the other side of the river, Fang Ping also began to move, stepping into the air and heading to the other side. As for Old Wang, after waiting for a moment, moved forward again, soon reaching the other side. As soon as he landed, Wang Jinyang also copied Fang Ping and began to throw stones. There was no movement. There was no movement. When Fang Ping arrived safely, the two of them looked at each other. After a while, Fang Ping said dryly, Say, if we lose too many people or beasts, will we end up like this too? Both of them did not expect the process of crossing the river to be so easy. Those rank 9 monsters actually went on strike. Wang Jinyang shook his head. How would he know? Moreover, the stones were, after all, inanimate objects. Maybe they were alive, and the other party would keep attacking. Fang Ping rubbed his chin and said in a low voice, Next time, I'll try to catch a few hundred catacombs martial artists to throw. Maybe it really works. If that's the case, you guys can still cross the river even without me. Wang Jinyang said tiredly, Once is enough. He did not want to do it a second time. Fang Ping grinned and said, That might not be the case. To be honest, Sometimes things don't go your way. Maybe next time, you'll really cross the river alone. That's why you still need to master these experiences. Now, it seems that these rank 9 monsters at the bottom of the sea are like idiots. They might not be that scary. Those people from Rose City are a little stupid. Maybe if I catch some monsters and feed them, the other party won't attack again. Or if I just cross the river quietly and don't make such a big commotion, the other party might not attack. I think maybe it's because of their habitual thinking. These guys know that there are monsters here, so they're afraid and worried, so they just want to cross the river by force. If you fly over directly, these monsters at the bottom of the sea might not attack. They're screaming and shooting. The commotion is too big, disturbing people's rest. If I don't attack them, who else should I attack? Wang Jinyang could not stand him anymore. He said with a headache, "No matter what, now that we're here, can you return my clothes? Also, why didn't you take off your underwear?" Fang Ping grinned and said, "My underwear is tight. It's fine." Wang Jinyang was so angry he was about to vomit blood. He growled, "Give me my clothes first." It's a pity that the phone is useless after coming in. Otherwise, Fang Ping really wanted to take a picture. This was a rare feat if he took a picture later, whether he blackmailed old Wang, threatened him, or sold it to his admirers. It would be a huge sum of money. The higher old Wang's achievements, the more valuable he would be. The prerequisite was that he was stronger than him. Otherwise, he would be finished if he was beaten to death. "Fang Ping, I want to kill you." Wang Jinyang was about to explode. Fang Ping quickly took out his clothes and grinned. "Relieve some pressure. Also, don't shout. If Rose City Lord doesn't run far, we'll both be finished." Wang Jinyang cursed while putting on his clothes. "You know it's dangerous, and you still have the time to talk nonsense." "I'm just nervous." Fang Ping exhaled deeply, then laughed. "I'm really a little nervous. We're moving around under the nose of so many rank 9s. It's driving me crazy. Old Wang, when we go back this time, I won't be escaping from a rank 9. Look, how many rank 9s did we encounter?" "A bunch. We're not dead yet. Tell me, aren't we awesome?" "Cut the crap." Wang Jinyang put on his clothes, ignoring him. He looked around and said with a serious expression, "Can you feel it?" "Yes, dead silence. There's no movement at all. It's like there's no life." Fang Ping felt it. On the other side of the river, it was dead silence. There was no life at all. It was not a feeling. There was no life at all. There were trees here, but it was like there was no life. It was lifeless. "Are we at the bounded zone now? Where's the sealed zone?" There was a forest in front. It was eerie and looked a little scary. Fang Ping sensed it and suddenly frowned. "Old Wang, there's no energy." Wang Jinyang sensed it too. His expression changed instantly. He said in disbelief, "How can this be?" He could not sense the existence of any energy here. What if my vitality or energy is depleted? Fang Ping did not speak. He turned to look at the Forbidden Sea and said in a low voice, "There's energy on the other side, but not here. Tell me, what's going on? It's like it's separated into 2 worlds. Is it because the Forbidden Sea can't transfer energy over? Or is it because of the space-time rift in the sky? If it's the Forbidden Sea, does that mean that there's no energy in the Forbidden Sea area? Where did the energy go?" As he said that, Fang Ping glanced at the seawater and said in a low voice, "Could it be that the seawater of the Forbidden Sea actually has the effect of absorbing energy?" "Old Wang, has anyone been active in the Forbidden Sea before? I mean, the coastal area?" Wang Jinyang said in a low voice, "I don't know. Since the day we entered the catacombs, everyone told us not to go to the seaside. Don't go to the sea. It's extremely dangerous. In addition, The catacombs martial artists don't go to the seaside. There's nothing good there, so we usually don't go there. Of course, there are actually people who go there. Some people even catch some sea creatures by the seaside as food. But they are all in the area near the shore. I really don't know if there are people who actually walk on the sea. If that's the case, you can't confirm the reason for the disappearance of energy. Fong Ping said in his sleep, if that's the case, once everyone's energy reserves are depleted, they'll have to rely on their physiques to fight. Yes, but even if they rely on their physiques, powerhouses of this rank, especially a rank 8 golden body, are still incomparably powerful. They can easily tear you and me apart with their physiques alone. Don't you dare come up with any devious ideas. Fong Ping shook his head and said softly, I'm not talking about this. I know how powerful a rank 8 golden body is. After all, I have golden bones too. I'm saying that if vitality and energy force are depleted and can't be recovered, then what about mentality? Actually, what I'm most afraid of is still a high-ranked powerhouse's mentality. On one hand, the range of observation is too wide. On the other hand, it's too sharp. If they don't have mentality, then a high-ranked powerhouse will only have some instinctive reactions at most. In this way, we can conceal our aura. Even if we get close to them, they might not be able to detect us. At the thought of this, Fong Ping suddenly unleashed his mentality, followed by a small self-explosion. Wang Jinyang was speechless. He could not see it, but he could feel the faint vibration coming from the void. How willful! Mother asterisk her. He exploded just like that. Did his mentality cost nothing? Fong Ping, on the other hand, self-exploded a little mentality. Then he kept looking at the data and said softly, let's wait for a while. I'll do an experiment. Test whether mentality can recover. Yes. Wang Jinyang did not say much. The first batch of people had arrived here for more than a month. There was no use in rushing now. They still had to be careful of encountering Rose King in front. Waiting was good. After waiting for more than half an hour, the sky was almost bright. Fong Ping's gaze was a little strange. He said, no. Mentality was actually recovering automatically, although the speed was very slow. But after such a long time, Mach 1 would recover eventually, right? In the end, it did not. Fong Ping's throat moved. He said in a low voice, this is getting interesting. Could it be that the bounded zone is like this? No, isn't this the sealed realm that Qin Fengqin mentioned? I've always thought that the sealed realm is something like a mentality barrier. Could it be that it isn't? Or is this not the sealed realm? But this place is a little special because of the Forbidden Sea tributary. Fong Ping had a slight headache. He could not figure it out for a while. He did not care about this anymore. Fong Ping thought for a while and began to recover using his wealth to recover his vitality and mentality. He wanted to see if the system would be affected. Very soon, the changes in the data let Fong Ping know that the system was really awesome. It was not affected at all. Wealth, 112 billion, convert, vitality, 7,088 calories, 7,088 calories, mentality, 933 hertz, 933 hertz, bones honed, 177 bones, 100%, 29 bones, 90%, storage space, 50 cubic meters plus, energy shield, 10,000 wealth/minute plus, aura simulation, 100,000 wealth/minute plus. After looking at the data for a while, Fong Ping looked at his slightly exposed golden bones. He looked at Wang Jinyang and said, Old Wang, if a rank 8 powerhouse really runs out of energy and can't recover, can I fight them to the end with just this skeleton? A rank 8 golden body was actually much stronger than his golden bones alone. Moreover, Fong Ping's golden bones were actually not complete. The skull bone marrow had not been honed. However, other than the skull, Fong Ping's other golden bones were all genuine golden bones. Wang Jinyang really wanted to curse. He growled, "Even if your bones are strong, you won't survive if your internal organs are smashed." A golden body powerhouse's strength lies in their whole body. It's not something that your skeleton can compare to. That's hard to say. Fong Ping raised his eyebrows. A skeleton is a skeleton. What about celestiality? If the other party doesn't have celestiality, he might not be able to kill me just by relying on his body. Of course, it's hard to say if he can kill you. The bounded domain is a little interesting. However, this might not be the bounded domain because, according to Qin Fengqing, the bounded domain is known as the real immortal world. The energy concentration is extremely high. There are good things everywhere. It's not like this. Wang Jinyang nodded. This might not be the bounded domain. At least we haven't seen the sealed domain that Qin Fengqing mentioned. This might not be the sealed domain either. Also, I thought that absolute centipede's fall was because of the Forbidden Sea, but now it seems that it might not be the case. Could such a small tributary cause absolute centipede's fall? If even the Rose City Lord could come here, then he must not have fallen here. Otherwise, everyone would not need to go to the bounded domain to snatch the corpse. Absolute centipede's corpse, where is it? Is it in the real bounded domain? Why did the elder ancestor of Star City come to the bounded domain? Crossing boundaries? If it's crossing boundaries, it should be possible to go through Mount Royal Sea, right? Why did he want to go through the bounded domain to cross boundaries? Or is it that the other party didn't come to cross boundaries, but for the bounded domain? At this moment, Wang Jinyang was also full of doubts. Fong Ping laughed. There's no use guessing. We're missing a lot of crucial information. If the other party refuses to tell us, then we'll look for it ourselves. He had not finished speaking when Wang Jinyang suddenly coughed dryly. Fong Ping, this time we're here to look for my teacher. Let's talk about exploring secrets later. Don't delay the important matter. He was almost led astray by Fong Ping. Why did both of us risk our lives to come here, to look for someone? Why did he think so much? Once he found his teacher, regardless of life or death, one look was enough to make him give up completely. As for the absolute centipede's corpse and the bounded domain's secrets, these had nothing to do with him. His ability was only rank 5. Why were they in such a hurry? The rank 9 were fighting for these things. Were they going to get themselves killed by getting involved? Fong Ping heard that and said seriously, that makes sense. Looking for talents is the main objective. The rest are just minor details. Wang Jinyang heaved a sigh of relief. Then he heard Fong Ping say again, Rose King has life essence. The most important thing is that there's also the rank 9 divine weapon longsword. If we get our hands on it, Fong Ping. Wang Jinyang's voice became shrill. Motherf asterisk Kerr, I shouldn't have gone to the catacombs with you. I can't stand this agitation anymore. Seeing that the calm old Wang was about to change shape from anger, Fong Ping shrugged. I was just saying it. Do I really have to rob a rank? 9? Old Wang is overthinking. I'm just saying it for fun. I said I want to kill the absolute centipede. And I'm really going to kill the absolute centipede? He was just joking. Old Wang. This fellow was very serious. He was still young, but he was like an old antique. No, he was an antique from the start. At the same time, both of them arrived at the border of the bounded domain, the border of the Forbidden Sea. Qin Fengqing's mouth was agape. He looked at Li Hansong with a dazed expression. After a long time, Qin Fengqing stammered. Tai too. Li Hansong furrowed his brows and said nothing. Qin Fengqing gulped, stuttering, Tai Tu, are we brothers? What are you trying to say? Open the door. Qin Fengqin was going crazy. He said agitatedly, Motherf asterisk Ker, the life gate of your Sanjiao gate is sealed. It's sealed. I saw it. The moment I dragged it out, I saw it. There's something inside the sealed life gate. Really, when I dragged it out, I opened it for a while. There's really something inside. Tai Tu, it looks like a storage ring. No, it might be a divine weapon. That's not it either. Never mind, it's definitely something good. F asterisk CK, you're really an old antique who has come back to life. You actually left a backup plan for yourself. Not only did the Sanjiao gate automatically seal a door, but you can also put things inside. What can be stored inside the Sanjiao gate? Tai Tu, open the door quickly. Qin Fengqin was so excited he was about to go crazy. Although it did not belong to him, it belonged to Tai Tu. They were brothers in this life. There was no need to differentiate between them. Even if Tai Tu did not give it to him, it was not a bad idea to broaden his horizons. Maybe Tai Tu felt pity for him. He was a big shot in his past life and saved up dozens of rank, 9 divine weapons. Maybe he just threw a few to him. Both of them walked along the edge of the forbidden seaside. Although it was relatively peaceful, danger was everywhere. Just now, a rank 6 monster suddenly jumped out of the water. It did not hide in the water like Fang Ping did. Instead, it jumped out directly. Both of them fought for a long time and finally got rid of the other party. As for Li Hansong, he was already on the verge of breaking through the realm. After a battle, the Sanjiao gate unexpectedly appeared too. Not only did this guy's Sanjiao gate appear 3 times at once, but the key point was that the life gate actually sealed itself. Qin Fengqin was stunned. There was someone else whose Sanjiao gate sealed itself. Did this not mean that this guy had entered middle stage rank 6 directly, surpassing Fang Ping? Or could he skip upper stage rank 6 and enter peak rank 6 directly from middle stage rank 6? After all, the life gate was the last sealed door. No matter what, a naturally sealed Sanjiao gate was big news in the first place. The bigger news was that when it appeared from another space earlier, the door was slightly transparent. Qin Fengqin really saw something in the door. As for what it was exactly, it was faintly discernible. He did not see it, but he was sure that there was definitely something. Li Hansong saw him jumping up and down and said exasperatedly, "Stop it. It's not safe here. Besides, there's no way to open the door." No way to open it. Duh. Li Hansong frowned. I've tried. I can't open the door. I can't even open it on my own. Maybe I have to wait until I reach rank 7 and my mentality materializes. Then I can push this door and open the door. F asterisk CK. Qin Fengqin looked gloomy. Doesn't that mean I've wasted my efforts? F asterisk CK off. Li Hansong was so angry that he almost laughed. He was speechless. I've achieved rank 6. I've even automatically sealed 1 Sanjiao gate. Is this considered a waste of effort? As long as I seal 2 doors, I'll be peak rank 6. Is this considered a waste of effort? Kid, you can't bear to see me do well? No, Qin Fengqin sighed weakly. The point is, based on our situation, there's not much difference between rank 5 and rank 6. If you can open the door and use some killer moves, you might be able to kill rank 7 or 8. That would be useful, right? Li Hansong ignored him. He put away the Sanjiao gate and asked suddenly, Fang Ping, has his life gate been sealed? No. I knew that guy was a big liar. Qin Fengqin humphed. When his Sanjiao gate appeared, I was watching from the side. It's normal that the life gate isn't sealed. Li Hansong mumbled. It's hard to say. Say, did he activate the life gate long ago? Then he got some things. For example, his storage ring? Otherwise, the world is so big. Where is he going to find a storage ring? Is there such a coincidence that he managed to find it? Say, do you think that this guy still has a divine weapon hidden on him? Also, he had unlimited vitality and mentality a long time ago. Qin Fengqing, say, do you think that he could communicate with the Sanjiao Gate a long time ago? If that's the case, then his vitality and mentality can be explained. Maybe his Sanjiao Gate has always been sealed, but he opened it on purpose. That's why there was a change at that time. This guy might have started to recover when he was rank 1. As soon as this speculation came out, Qin Fengqing was stunned for a moment. After a while, he said that it seems like this kid didn't really ask for resources a long time ago. He used to earn credits by pills and then sell them. After selling the money, he started a lousy company. I don't know what it's for. Actually, everyone has noticed before that when he buys pills, he usually doesn't buy those vitality pills or the like. He only buys those pills that can quickly hone the body. As Qin Fengqing spoke, he murmured, "This kid, could it be that he got his hands on a storage ring a long time ago? There are pills for cultivation inside. So, when he sells pills later, he's actually pretending to be poor? To make it seem like he has no money? If that's the case, this kid is really sinister." As they spoke, both of them looked at each other and nodded. It was indeed very sinister. Li Hansong whispered, "That guy might know some top secrets that he didn't say. Is he worried that we're not strong enough and can't handle it? Or this guy was actually our old enemy in the past? Like what you said, he was actually our little brother in the past." After all, according to his own words, the stronger the ability, the slower the recovery. Fong Ping had awakened so early. Did that mean that the kid was extremely weak? Maybe he was a rank 7 in his past life. Maybe he was just sweeping the latrine for them. However, this kid is a little sinister. Maybe he's like a dog-head advisor, the one who gave advice to them, yet his ability was average. At this moment, many thoughts flashed across Li Hansong's mind. He murmured, "Maybe I'm his master. Old Qin, don't you think so? You must be. Then you're related to him. How many generations of my servant's grandson are you?" Qin Fengqing's expression turned ugly instantly. He gritted his teeth and said, "Let's go. Let's hurry. Are you still going or not?" Li Hansong nodded and stood up. Then his face lit up with joy. Suddenly, he touched Qin Fengqing's bald head and smiled. "Old Qin, if that's the case, we're also family. Don't worry, I don't mistreat my own people. Get lost!" Qin Fengqing scolded loudly, fuming. "You're still shaking." At this moment, he really wished that Fong Ping was Li Hansong's master's master. Let this guy be smug. When that time comes, I'll be your little master. Bah, I'm not Fong Ping's grandson. Qin Fengqing scolded for a while and said in a low, muffled voice, "Let's go quickly. There's still 1,000 or 2,000 li to go. If we don't hurry, it'll be too late." Li Hansong smiled and nodded. "Now that I've reached rank 6, my golden bones are stronger, and so is my golden body. Don't worry. We don't have to worry if we don't encounter high ranks." Before he finished his sentence, both of them started running. Qin Fengqing scolded as he ran. "Jinx," he said, "high ranks." There really was a high rank aura coming. It was too effective. Dozens of li away, Yang Daohong killed a rank 7 monster beast quickly. He looked into the distance, frowning slightly. Just now, it seemed like someone had materialized the Sanjiao Gate. Did he sense wrongly? There were rank 5 and 6 martial artists wandering around here. Were they not afraid of death? As for whether they were humans or catacombs martial artists, it was too far away. He could not tell for now. However, whether it was humans or catacombs martial artists, rank 5 and 6 wandering around the forbidden seaside was really audacious. Yang Daohong did not care too much. Whether it was humans or catacombs martial artists, he was a rank 9 martial artist. He could not be bothered to care about this, unless he encountered them. Otherwise, human rank 9 martial artists would not purposely look for some rank 5 and 6 catacombs martial artists to slaughter. It was meaningless. Yang Daohong did not care about this anymore. He quickly concealed his aura and glanced at the forbidden sea with some fear. A powerhouse like him passing through the forbidden sea was actually more dangerous than a rank 5 or 6. The forbidden sea powerhouses might not be interested in those little things. He, on the other hand, was a big fish. Chapter 504. On the other side of the river, Fang Ping and Wang Jinyang lingered for a while before moving forward. In front of them was a deathly still forest. Not long after they left, Wang Jinyang and Fang Ping's expressions changed. There were skeletons in front. Fang Ping and Wang Jinyang restrained their auras and were extremely vigilant. After looking around, Fang Ping went forward to take a look. The skeletons, or rather, the white bones, had no flesh or blood left. Fang Ping touched it. After a while, he said in a serious tone, "Rank 7. Martial artists honed their bones, whether they were catacombs, martial artists, or human martial artists. The most obvious way to determine a martial artist's rank was by looking at the other party's bones. Rank 7 martial artists did not hone their skulls until they reached peak. However, martial artists below peak rank 7 had much tougher bones than rank 6 martial artists. Fang Ping checked briefly and confirmed that this skeleton was left behind by a rank 7 martial artist. His heart sank. They had just crossed the forbidden sea, and a rank 7 had already fallen? Wang Jinyang also looked around and probed the white bones. After a brief look, he muttered, "It's not an ancient person. The time of death is not too long. The flesh and blood may have been swallowed by something. It's very likely to be the restricted area martial artists or catacombs martial artists who entered this time." Both of them checked for a while. Fang Ping walked to a tree that seemed to be burned and looked at it. His pupils constricted slightly, and he pulled Wang Jinyang a few steps back vigilantly. Wang Jinyang also saw this tree that seemed to be burned. He took a few steps back and said in a low voice, "This is a bloodthirsty tree monster." "Yes, it's dead." Fang Ping nodded slightly, his expression solemn. "A bloodthirsty tree monster has no intelligence. It will swallow flesh and blood when it sees it. This tree monster swallowed a rank 7 martial artist, at least rank 7. However, there were rank 9 martial artists who entered the restricted area this time. They were actually swallowed by the bloodthirsty tree monster. Are these the second and third batch of commanders who entered? The first batch of people who entered included 3 rank 9 powerhouses from the restricted area. Such a team would not be attacked by a tree monster. As for the second batch of escorts, there was a commander from Rose City, as well as some other commanders from other cities who were escorting them. The third batch did not have a commander from Rose City. There was a rank 6 battle general who was escorted by powerhouses who were also from other cities. It was normal for these people to be attacked. Wang Jinyang's expression changed slightly. Even a rank 7 is dead. What about the others? He was referring to the human martial artists who had been escorted here. Fang Ping said softly, "The human martial artists must have other uses. Otherwise, there's no need to escort them thousands of miles to the bounded zone." Wu Su also said that the people from the restricted zone still value these martial artists. If it was just to be cannon fodder, then there was no need to waste so much energy. Therefore, he should be protected. Nothing will happen. Although that was what they said, the commanders they were escorting were all dead. It was hard to say whether or not they could protect these human ancient martial art practitioners. The places where everyone crossed the river might not necessarily be around here. Finding a skeleton here could also mean that it belonged to a lone traveler and not necessarily one of the previous groups of people. While Wang Jinyang was still deep in thought, Fang Ping had already started chopping down the tree. Wang Jinyang's face darkened when he saw this, and he growled, "What are you doing?" "This is a rank 7 tree monster. It might be even stronger. Although it's been killed and looks like charred wood, it's still a good material for forging divine weapons. If the heart and brain cores are still there, then I'll be rich." He had picked up a rank 7 monster's carcass earlier. The system had not calculated his wealth yet. Perhaps the danger was still there. Fang Ping was not in a hurry. This thing would calculate his wealth sooner or later. When it was relatively safer, there would probably be no problem. And now he had encountered a rank 7 tree monster that had been killed. The carcass of a monster plant was actually more valuable than a monster's carcass. In the catacombs, there were more monsters than monster plants. It was very difficult for a plant to cultivate into a monster. It was even more difficult for a high-ranked monster. The carcass of a monster plant had more uses too. After many monster plants died, their remains could be consumed, and the effects were amazing. If one could obtain some monster plants' flowers, seeds, fruits, these things often had amazing medicinal effects. Some could increase mentality, strengthen the physique, strengthen the internal organs, and even some monster plant fruits had nature-defying effects that could revive the dead. If a martial artist had not reached rank 8, if he was crippled, he would still be crippled. Even if it was Fang Ping, if he had a broken arm now and could not bring it back, then he would really become a broken arm. A rank 8 golden body powerhouse could help him heal, but they could not help him regrow his broken limbs, especially the parts with bones, which could not be regrown. The flesh was still fine, with bones as the foundation, vitality as the foundation, and with imperishable substances, the flesh could still grow. Chun Yunqi's instructor, Bai Ruoshi, during her freshman year, had lost an arm and could not bring it back. Therefore, even if her injuries were healed now, her broken arm could not be regrown. Even a rank 8 could not help her complete regrown. Unless she reached rank 8 herself, then she could complete regrown her broken limbs. As for monster plants, there were some creatures, fruits, and flowers that could complete this remolding process. Of course, a large amount of life essence could also be used. However, life essence was rarer than these things. Regrown also consumed a lot. Old Man Li used so much life essence back then, mainly on regrown his broken limbs. Fang Ping used his chaos-vanquishing saber to chop the tree. The charred, bloodthirsty tree monster was not actually burnt. Those scorch marks were only the scars caused by Powerhouse's attacks. After chopping for a while, the scorch marks fell off, revealing the blood jade-like torso inside. Fang Ping's eyes flashed with joy. Then, he could not help but curse under his breath. The heart core is broken. The blood jade-like torso seemed very transparent now, like a blood-colored crystal. He could see the situation inside the torso. The blood-colored heart core that looked like a heart was now broken. This made Fang Ping feel very sorry. The forging of a divine weapon required a heart core and a brain core. It was best if they were the same demon's heart core and brain core. Of course, it could be forged even if they were not from the same creature. However, during the forging process, there was a possibility of failure. There was also a possibility of forging a very trashy divine weapon that was seriously incompatible with the user. Even its functions were extremely trashy. Of course, the demon's heart core and brain core were not only used for divine weapons. They could be used in many places. MCMU's pressure room, even the vitality pool, or simply using it as an energy stone for cultivation could be used. Or they could be directly condensed into a heart marrow. They could also be used by high-ranked martial artists to speed up their cultivation progress. Forging divine weapons, however, was currently the most popular. This was because divine weapons could rapidly help high-ranked martial artists increase their strength. For example, Rose King from before. Without a divine weapon, her strength was only average. With a divine weapon, the 3 big rank 9 monsters at the bottom of the sea, although they did not reveal their true forms, were still repelled by his sword when they attacked together. It was obvious that his combat strength had increased tremendously. The bloodthirsty tree monster's heart core was broken. Fong Ping did not see the brain core and was too lazy to look for it. After chopping for a while, Fong Ping suddenly stopped and began to dig up the roots. After a while, a blood-colored tree about 5 meters tall was dug to the ground by Fong Ping. However, looking at this dead demon tree, Fong Ping felt a headache coming on. His storage space could not fit it. A rank 7 monster took up more than half of the space. He had robbed many things in Moon Laurel City before. It was obviously impossible for Fong Ping to throw them away now. Now it seemed like he could only expand the space. However, wealth was very useful here. Consuming too much wealth might lead to a lack of wealth in the future and trouble. That was what he thought. But when he remembered that he still had more than 100 billion wealth, Fong Ping felt that it was still necessary to expand the space. When the system confirmed that he was safe, the value of a rank 7 monster beast and a rank 7 monster plant monster with a broken heart core would not be low. It would not be a problem to replenish his consumption. I might as well expand it to 100 cubic meters this time. Fong Ping made up his mind and quickly began to expand the storage space. After a while, Fong Ping consumed 25 billion wealth. Wealth, 87 billion, convert vitality, 7,080 calories, 7,088 calories, mentality, 930 hertz, 933 hertz, bones honed, 177 bones, 100%, 29 bones, 90%. Storage space, 100 cubic meters plus energy shield, 10,000 wealth/minute plus 100,000/minute, or a simulation. 100,000 wealth/minute plus 100,000/minute. It dropped to 100 billion. Fong Ping sighed softly in his heart. Without saying much, he quickly put away the tree monster's corpse underground. At this moment, there were many things in his storage space. Rank 7 monster beast corpses, rank 7 monster plant corpses, a large number of middle and low-grade energy stones, a large pile of weapons, and even the corpses of many catacombs martial artists. After killing some catacombs martial artists earlier, Fong Ping directly put away their corpses. Most of them were rank 6 martial artists, more than 10 of them. The corpses of rank 6 martial artists actually had many uses. However, at this moment, Fong Ping was thinking that perhaps he could use these corpses to explore the way later. He had forgotten about these before. Seeing that Fong Ping had put away the monster plant corpses, Wang Jinyang's eyebrows twitched. This fellow's storage ring had an extraordinarily large space. He had put away a lot of things. If it were anyone else, even if they saw the corpses, they would not be able to take them away. He was still thinking about this when Fong Ping said in a low voice, "This time, other things aside, picking up the corpses is enough to earn a fortune. There is indeed meat to eat if you follow a powerhouse. If there are rank 3 martial artists who dare to follow me, they can also make a fortune." This was the truth. Fong Ping was not interested in ordinary things. Sometimes he was too lazy to look at some rank 4 or 5 monster beasts that he killed. As for things like digging out the core, he was too lazy to do it. Of course, if there was enough time, he would take it away. After all, he had the storage space. However, other people would really not do it. If the rank 4 or 5 monster corpses were really picked up by low-ranked martial artists, it would be considered a windfall from the sky. At this moment, Fang Ping somewhat understood why Zhang Tao could pick up the rank 9 monster plant corpses back then. If the one who did it was a peerless powerhouse, and a peerless powerhouse had a peerless opponent, killing a rank 9 monster plant would not necessarily be bothered, nor would they have the time to bother. He just did not know if it was caused by a peerless powerhouse. The possibility was very high. Otherwise, normal rank 9 martial artists would not be able to kill a rank 9 monster plant so quickly that the other party did not even have time to consume its life essence. The premise is that you can survive. Wang Jinyang complained. Although following a powerhouse could allow one to pick up some benefits, the chances of losing one's life were higher. If you were slightly affected, you would not even know how you died. Without thinking about how big Fang Ping's storage ring was, Wang Jinyang walked carefully, looking around, saying in a low voice, "Be careful. Since a bloodthirsty tree monster appeared, there might be more nearby. There might be many such monster plants in this forest." "I know. You be careful too. Let's not talk from now on, and don't step on the ground." Just as Fang Ping finished speaking, Wang Jinyang shook his head and said, "I can't overexert my vitality. I didn't bring many pills and energy stones." "I have. Don't mind this. I'll give them to you later. Don't make any noise." "All right then." Both of them stopped talking and started floating in the air, moving forward quietly. Along the way, Fang Ping and Wang Jinyang saw a few more skeletons. Some of the bones were already broken, but they could confirm that they were martial artists who died recently. Among them, there were a few skeletons that were obviously left behind by rank 3 martial artists. This time, Fang Ping did not say anything more and kept the skeletons. These were definitely the skeletons of human martial artists. The weakest from the catacombs was also a rank 6 warlord. Rank 5 Wusu and the others were all left behind. It was impossible for rank 3 catacombs martial artists to be brought to the bounded domain. It seemed that the route they took was the route taken by the 3rd batch of catacombs personnel. The 3rd batch was only escorting rank 3 martial artists. Evidently, some of the human cultivators who had been escorted here had died after arriving here. This deathly silent forest was not small. Fang Ping and Wang Jinyang walked forward for a long time, but they still could not walk out of the forest. Fang Ping suspected that he had taken the wrong path again. Danger did exist in the forest. After walking for a long time, Fang Ping and Wang Jinyang stopped at the same time. They looked at each other and carefully detoured to the side, without saying anything. In front of them, a blood-red tree was mixed in with the other trees. Although it was not too eye-catching, and its aura could not be sensed, both of them had just dug out a dead rank 7 bloodthirsty tree monster. When they saw this taller tree, Fang Ping saw that it was at least twice as tall as the rank 7 one. Its blood-red trunk was mixed with some gold. This was a rank 8 bloodthirsty tree monster. Both of them restrained their auras, so the other party did not care. Otherwise, it would have attacked both of them when it sensed the aura of flesh and blood. Both of them walked for thousands of meters before Wang Jinyang wiped the non-existent sweat off his forehead. That was exciting. He had just breathed a sigh of relief when Fang Ping suddenly said in a low voice, "Old Wang." Wang Jinyang was shocked and instinctively got into an attack stance. Fang Ping, however, drifted forward a little and stood still. Wang Jinyang looked over and was shocked as well. He quickly rushed over. Right now, there was a small clearing in front of them, overgrown with weeds. Among the weeds, a broken monument was exposed. The broken monument had been slashed in half. It was said that it had been slashed by someone because the cut was very smooth. It was obvious that it was caused by a weapon. Fang Ping cleared the weeds around the broken monument and stared at it for a while, his gaze extremely strange. Wang Jinyang was the same. If it was just a broken monument, both of them would not have been so surprised. It was not that no one lived in the catacombs. It was normal to have such things. The key was that although the broken monument had been cut in half, there were still a few faint remnants of words left on it. They were not catacombs words, but human words. Old Wang, what are these two words? Fang Ping glanced at Wang Jinyang. I've become illiterate. I can't recognize these two words. There were only two blurred words left on the broken monument. However, Fang Ping was sure that these were not catacombs words. Wang Jinyang also glanced at Fang Ping. After a while, he said gloomily, "How would I know?" "Nonsense! I'm not an expert in ancient words. Who the hell would know what these two words are?" However, after some thought, Wang Jinyang muttered, "I think it's seal script." "Seal script?" Fang Ping mumbled. "Seal script. Is it the language used during the Qin dynasty? Are you kidding me? It's been more than 2,000 years. Wang Jinyang shook his head. "I don't know if it's true. I don't know much about this either, but I remember reading some ancient books. One of them introduced the evolution of words. The seal script written on it is similar to this. Whatever. I'll memorize these two words first. I'll ask when I get out." Fang Ping started memorizing these two words. After a while, he said uncertainly, It seems like mausoleum cave, right?" Wang Jinyang stared at it for a long time too. He muttered, "It's a little similar. I don't know if it's true." Mausoleum cave. There seems to be a word that's been cut off. What mausoleum cave? This is a forest. Could there be a cave? Fang Ping mumbled to himself. Wang Jinyang shook his head. "I'm not sure. Also, don't look into these. Some secrets have become untraceable history after the disappearance of the ancient martial era and the demise of the era of sex. However, you mentioned that there are human relics in the bounded boundaries. Now it's confirmed. Not only relics, but it might also be relics from the ancient martial era. The era of sex, in our opinion, is something that happened in the past 1,000 years. In this 1,000 years, they didn't use seal script. Fang Ping felt a headache coming on. If they used seal script, they might not be from the Qin dynasty. They could be later generations. Of course, it could be even earlier. I think seal script existed during the Zhou dynasty. Fang Ping shook his head. He did not dare to think about it. Mother asterisk cur. Did the ancestors really come here? Not only did they come, but they even lived here, occupied the mountain, and became king? What was going on? The more he understood, the more confused Fang Ping became. Some of the information he had learned in the past was also being overturned. Previously in school, the teacher said that the catacombs entrances had only appeared a few years ago. The earliest entrance, the West Mountain entrance, appeared about 700 years ago. Moreover, it was the kind that had not been confirmed. The clearest record in modern times was the appearance of the third entrance in 1920. Only then was there a clear historical record. The contact between humans and the catacombs only began more than 80 years ago. In these 80 years, humans and the catacombs had always been in a state of war. They would not rest until one side was dead. They would fight whenever they met. However, in Star Town, it was said that a few ancestors had been suppressing Mount Imperial Sea since hundreds of years ago. In short, it was a mess. Some of the secrets might be known by the higher-ups. Those ancestors who had lived for hundreds of years or even longer might know. However, others, including some rank 9 martial artists, might not know. What kind of place was the bounded boundaries? In other parts of the catacombs, Fong Ping had never seen any traces left by humans. Traces of war were more or less the same. This kind of ancient ruins could not be found anywhere else in the catacombs. At this moment, in the bounded boundaries, there were actually remnants of ancient ruins. There were too many secrets hidden in it. One day, all secrets will no longer be secrets, Fong Ping said in a low voice. Then, he began to dig up the broken monument. Wang Jinyang was stunned. Are you addicted to digging? You're digging this too, Fong Ping said in a low voice. Don't look at me. Touch the broken monument yourself. It's not a rock. Wang Jinyang's expression changed. He touched it hurriedly, then pinched it hard. Then, he was extremely shocked. He said in a low voice, This is even harder than A-grade alloy. What kind of material is this? I don't know. Let's dig it back and talk about it. Baby, Wang Jinyang was speechless. It was indeed a treasure. Even if this broken monument was broken, the exposed part was still more than 2 meters high. He did not know how deep it was underground. It was at least 3 to 4 meters long and more than 2 meters wide. How heavy was it? Probably a few tons. If this could really be used, A-grade alloy was worth a few million per kilogram. If it was sold as A-grade alloy, it would be worth tens of billions. At this moment, Wang Jinyang felt a little ashamed. There was a mountain of gold in front of him, yet he did not notice it. No, most people who saw this broken monument probably did not even think of digging it away. Fong Ping's thought process was completely different from everyone else's. Seeing this kind of human ruins that might be thousands of years old, who would still have the mood to dig up the broken monument after a moment of shock, let alone protect it and cherish it, Fong Ping, on the other hand, dug as he pleased. There were no signs beforehand. While Fong Ping was digging, he muttered, I'm doing this to protect the ancestors' ruins. Otherwise, it'll be destroyed sooner or later. Look, there's only half of this giant monument left. If I don't dig it away, the next time I come, it might be gone. Chapter 5:05. At the broken monument, Fong Ping dug for a while. His expression suddenly turned serious. He said in a low voice, Old Wang, come here. Wang Jinyang hurried over. At this moment, Fong Ping had already dug almost 10 meters deep. The broken monument seemed to be endless. There was no way to dig to the bottom. Wang Jinyang's expression was solemn. He said in a low voice, Continue digging. Fong Ping did not waste any time. He continued digging. After a while, Fong Ping suddenly shot out, dragging old Wang with him as he fled frantically. In the next moment, a loud boom erupted from the broken monument. In the distance, Fong Ping flew backward, his face pale. Wang Jinyang was bleeding from all his orifices. He was in a daze. Fong Ping endured the excruciating pain of his head exploding. He dragged Wang Jinyang, who was about to pass out, and fled quickly. In the distance, all the plants within 100 meters radius of the broken monument had disappeared. They were crushed instantly. Slightly further away, the rank, 8-bloodthirsty tree monster uprooted itself. Its roots were like human legs fleeing frantically. As it fled, it made squeaking sounds. It was not just this side. In a few other places, a few demon plants also left the vicinity of the broken monument quickly. Some monsters that were hiding deep also fled the area. Deeper inside, under a giant screen that looked like a waterfall, a stern-looking middle-aged man sensed the commotion. He frowned and asked, Who's here? Next to him, A woman with an enchanting face laughed coquettishly. It's definitely not our people. It's not from Suppressing Star, either. It seems like they've triggered the sealed boundary underground. Humph! The stern-looking middle-aged man snorted coldly. He frowned. Could it be the demons from Myriad Demon Mountain? Who knows? Tai Mu, do you want to investigate? No need, but be careful. The stern-looking middle-aged man's eyes were cold. He looked at the forest of death in the distance. Who was it? Or could it be that the original creature had accidentally triggered the sealed boundary? At the same time, not far from Fangping, Rose King was about to vomit blood. What now? Rose King was about to go crazy. I just wanted to come to the bounded domain quietly and see if I could fish in troubled waters. Damn it, why does it have to happen every time? In the far west region, suddenly fell into chaos. This also led to the arrival of the 10,000 Demon Mountain's Giant Wings King. Although he was unable to do anything to him in the end, his subordinates all died, and this also made him extremely angry. Now that he had crossed the taboo sea and arrived at the forest of death, he couldn't be any more careful. He was afraid that he would cause a huge commotion and be discovered by others. Once the people from the Forbidden Zone knew that he had come here, they would probably be able to guess his purpose in an instant. He wanted to be the fisherman, not the sandpiper and clam. But now, why the hell was there such a big commotion? Rose Queen was about to go crazy. Such a huge commotion must have attracted the attention of others, right? Who is it? Giant Wings King? It's an origin life form. Rose King was both angry and annoyed, but he didn't sense the aura of an expert. This made him a little suspicious. Could it be that the sealed world had exploded on its own? Over time, it caused the sealed world to lose control? For a moment, Rose King couldn't figure out the situation, but he still became more careful. Fortunately, this place belonged to the sealed world. The range of a rank 9's perception was limited. In addition, there were cracks in the void, so the rank 9 did not dare to recklessly release his mentality to probe. Otherwise, it would be difficult for him to hide from the few rank 9's in the Forbidden Zone. Damn it, why are there always accidents? Rose King cursed in his heart again, a little angry from embarrassment. This journey was really not smooth sailing. Whether these people were suspicious or vigilant, Fangping did not have the mood to care. At this moment, Fangping dragged Old Wang along and found a secluded place to hide. His heart was still palpitating. Looking at Old Wang, who was bleeding from his 7 orifices, he wanted to cry, but had no tears. Old Wang, we've come through so many difficulties and dangers. Don't let me kill you now, right? This was really beyond his expectations. He was only digging up a broken monument. As he dug and dug, he seemed to have dug up a layer of crystal rampart. The broken monument seemed to be rooted in the rampart. Fangping did not dig much at that time. He just wanted to study it. In the end, he slightly touched the underground crystal rampart, and the rampart directly erupted with an extremely powerful mentality attack. Fangping was slightly better. His mentality exploded a few times, but he finally recovered. Old Wang was in trouble. His mentality had not even reached 500 hertz. This time, Fangping did not have the time to protect him. This instant outburst directly knocked Old Wang to the ground. Old Wang, wake up! Fangping pushed Wang Jinyang. Then he started taking out all kinds of pills and energy fruits and started stuffing them into his mouth. He did not know whether it was the pills and energy fruits that took effect, or Old Wang himself who had woken up. After a while, Wang Jinyang opened his eyes. His face was pale and his eyes were cloudy. The sealed world, Fangping said with a long face. Probably. I've never understood what the sealed world is, but now I do. Qin Fengqing said it was a protective shell, but now it seems like it's just an eggshell. We're inside the eggshell now. That tributary of the Forbidden Sea is probably the boundary between the inside and the outside of the eggshell. Wang Jinyang said weakly, "You don't have to tell me in such detail." Sigh. Fang Ping was helpless. He said gloomily, "What the hell is the sealed world? A mentality barrier? But even a rank 9 powerhouses mentality can't last until now, right? Peak. Or even, that's not right." As Fang Ping said that, he said uneasily, "Do you think this sealed world is still being maintained by someone? Otherwise, how could there be such a thing in this domain that had lasted until now? How many years has it been? According to the words on that tablet, it's been at least a few thousand years. And the base of the broken tablet is connected to the sealed world. If that's the case, maybe it's been around for a few thousand years." Motherf asterisk her, I'm getting more and more confused. Wang Jinyang was not in the mood to play decryption games with him now. His head was splitting. Enduring the pain of his brain exploding, he said reluctantly, "The commotion just now was not small. I'm afraid it's attracted the attention of Rose City Lord. Let's leave this place first. Stay away from here." "Are you okay?" "Let me take a breather." Old Wang's face was still as pale as a sheet. Earlier, the crystal stronghold had only fluctuated slightly, and the explosive power had almost killed him. If this, Wang Jinyang did not even dare to think about it. If he had attacked with all his might, would it have caused an even greater counterattack? Fang Ping had also thought of what he had thought of. While leading old Wang to dodge carefully, Fang Ping took a deep breath and said, "The crystal stronghold is about 15 meters underground." No wonder Qin Fengqing said not to dig a hole. "If we dig a hole, we'll die without a doubt." Old Wang say, "If we were to fight with someone and we hit this thing with all our might, would the explosive power be able to kill those high-ranked powerhouses?" "You'll die faster than them." "That's hard to say." Fang Ping rejected. "If their mentality is depleted and can't be recovered, then their mentality is about the same as yours. If it's really an explosion, it's hard to say who will die first." Although he said that, Fang Ping could not help but rub his temples, saying in a slightly pained manner, "My mentality has exploded many times in the past day. Old Wang, I feel like I'm about to lose my memory. My brain is about to explode." "Don't tell me. I'm the same." Wang Jinyang's expression did not look good. He had also been affected a few times. His mentality was not strong. If this went on, he would also become a living dead. There are too many secrets in the bounded boundaries. I'm afraid this is only the periphery. We haven't reached the real core area yet. Fang Ping said in a low voice, "Rest for a while. We'll go to the core area. Maybe we can find your teacher there." Wang Jinyang indeed needed to rest for a while. Right now, he felt like he was about to die. As for the secrets of the bounded boundaries, he was really not in the mood to know. Who cared about the secrets? At this moment, Wang Jinyang's only thought was that as long as he was sure of his teacher's life and death, if there was a chance, he would try to rescue him. If there was no chance, then at this point, he would just give up. There was still hope for revenge if he was alive. Sending himself to death was not his style. After that, he would leave the catacombs immediately. In the past, he could not wait to stay in the catacombs every day. Now, he really wanted to leave immediately. If he stayed in the catacombs with this idiot Fang Ping, he was afraid that he would really be tortured to death. Were there really a lot of high-ranked powerhouses? In the huge catacombs, there were only more than 10 of them in a city. In the Tian'an catacombs, there were only about 100 catacombs human high ranks. This was half the size of Sino Nation. Even if the monster beasts and monster plants were included, The entire Tian'an catacombs only had about 200 high ranks. With such a huge territory and so many powerhouses scattered, how could it be so easy to meet them? He had entered the catacombs many times, but the number of times he met high ranks did not exceed 3 times. This included the last time he entered the catacombs with Fong Ping. However, this time, how many did he meet? There were a lot of rank 7s and rank 8s. There were even more rank 9s than rank 7s and 7s. In the entire human world, martial artists below high ranks might not have seen as many high ranks in their entire lives as he had in the past 2 days. Wang Jinyang really wanted to go home. In his heart, he muttered silently, "Teacher, it's not that I don't want to find you. It's that I really don't dare to." Fong Ping did not know what old Wang was thinking. Both of them rested for a while. This time, both of them were as careful as they could be. Even if they came across something that looked like a treasure, Fong Ping restrained his impulse. He would not take it even if he was beaten to death. They looked ordinary anyway. Just like that, the sky brightened again. The second night in the catacombs passed just like that. When the sky brightened, the dead forest seemed to have gained a little more life. It was not as gloomy as it was at night. The gigantic energy sun in the sky could not be stopped even in the land of boundaries. However, when the sky brightened, Fong Ping realized that something was wrong. In the forest, Fong Ping raised his head and looked at the sky. With a solemn expression, he said, "Old Wang, look at the sky." Wang Jinyang had already raised his head and looked at the sky. With a solemn expression, he said, "The energy sun is a little faint. It seems to have refracted a few times before the image was sent. Is there a space rift in the sky?" "It should be," Fong Ping said with some shock. "It can really shatter the void. Is this man-made, or is this how the environment is?" "It could be man-made," Wang Jinyang said in a low voice. "Otherwise, why is it only found in the land of boundaries? Space rifts shattering the void actually exists. Isn't it normal? When you said that you had a storage ring, I thought of this. If there wasn't this kind of destructive power to shatter the void, how could you have developed a storage ring? You should know that with the current level of technology, it's impossible to cut space, not to mention the big trouble of carrying it around. But the ancients did it. This means that ancient martial artists are stronger than us. Paragon, I don't know. Maybe." Wang Jinyang took a deep breath. Paragon powerhouses might really be able to shatter the void. Fong Ping shook his head. "Forget it. Let's not think about it. Anyway, it's very dangerous here. There are space rifts in the sky. The energy might be swallowed by these rifts. There's a sealed boundary underground that reflects damage at every turn. There's a tributary of the Forbidden Sea outside. Inside, there's also a crisis that could cause Paragon powerhouses to fall. I realized that this place is not something we can play around in. Old Wang, we found the person this time. We won't investigate further. When we're strong enough, we'll explore again. This broken place is too dangerous. It's good that you know." Wang Jinyang said softly, "We're about to get out of this forest. Be careful." "I know." Both of them stopped talking and started walking out of the forest. Beyond the forest of death was not a wasteland, but an ancient city that seemed to have been abandoned, or rather, scattered villages. Some dilapidated tall buildings might have been magnificent in the past, but now only a few dilapidated fences and broken walls remained. The incomparably wide crystal streets were actually paved with energy crystals. Energy crystals were the crystals left behind when the energy stones were depleted. The wide energy crystal streets led deeper into the city. In the deeper part of the broken city, there was an extremely tall crystal wall with no end in sight. It fell vertically like a waterfall, cutting the bounded zone apart. At this moment, there were some figures flashing under the crystal waterfall. The stern, middle-aged man had been staring at the crystal waterfall barrier. Suddenly, he turned his head to look at a few martial artists in ragged clothes in the corner. He said coldly, "A bunch of trash. The bloodline concentration is too low. Trash among trash." The enchanting woman said, lazily, "Tai Mu, you should have expected this. This bunch of trash has been separated by who knows how many generations. How much bloodline remains? However, the people from Star Town are coming soon. Those people's bloodline concentration isn't low. Why don't we wait for them to come and try again?" Humph! The stern middle-aged man's expression was ugly. Who knows if they have the ability to come? Even if they come, they might not be able to open it. Moreover, the people from Star Town are hard to control. At rank 7, they're not that easy to control. At least, they can't suppress their immortal god. That's true. The enchanting woman laughed. After laughing for a while, she said, "We've wasted too much time here. More than half of the people from the land of rebirth are dead. Only these few are left. Tai Mu, why don't we try killing them all and see if we can use vitality to break open a gap?" The stern middle-aged man glanced at the few people in the corner and frowned slightly. After a while, he said, "When people die, their vitality force disperses and turns into blood. Blood and vitality force are different. It's not like we haven't tried it before. There's still some use for these trash. At the very least, we can use them to test the weak points of the sealed world. After all, it's not that easy to capture them alive. These people from the land of rebirth self-destruct at the drop of a hat. We can't do anything either." The enchanting woman was a little impatient. Her smile disappeared as well. She snorted and said, "It doesn't necessarily have to be them to test the weak points. If they're all dead, we'll just kill everyone from Star Town. Then we'll all go our separate ways. Don't even think about opening the bounded domain. This way, our mission won't be considered a failure. King Song won't blame us for not doing our job well." The stern, middle-aged man pondered for a moment. His eyes were cold and stern as he said, "Then we'll wait a little longer and try again. If we still can't open it, then we'll wait for the people from Star Town to come. If we cooperate, then so be it. If not, we'll kill everyone from the land of rebirth." As he said that, the stern middle-aged man looked at the few people in the corner and said coldly, "Continue." As soon as he said that, a rank 7 martial artist sneered. He picked up a leather whip and lashed it at the few people in the corner. The leather whip was not an ordinary leather whip. It was a weapon. There was an explosive sound as it was whipped in midair. The few martial artists in the corner could not avoid it at all. They watched as the leather whip descended and the explosive sound of the whip lashing out. Their eyes were bloodshot, but they had no choice but to unleash vitality force to defend themselves. These catacombs martial artists did not stop them from unleashing vitality force to defend themselves. They would even throw some energy stones for them to recover when their vitality force was depleted. Although the few human martial artists knew that these catacombs martial artists were up to no good, they had no idea what exactly they wanted to do. They could not even understand what these people were talking about. Before they fell into the catacombs language had not been popularized. These people were not big shots back then. Naturally, they could not learn it in advance. In the past 2 years in the catacombs martial artists did not seem to care about getting any information from them. They even paid them little attention. Apart from imprisoning them, they did not do anything else. They did not even forbid them from cultivating. It was only 2 months ago that they were taken away from Rose City. They had been escorted to this extremely foreign land. During the time they were here, the catacombs, martial artists, only did things to them. Apart from whipping them, they would take one person away every once in a while. They did not know what they did, but very soon, the person they took away disappeared completely. From dozens of people in the beginning, there were only these few left now. The whip was still falling. Taimu suddenly yelled, "Be gentle! Don't kill them! If their vitality is not enough, give them some life stones to restore their vitality." As he spoke, Taimu glanced at the boundary wall in front of him. He said in a low voice, "I've tried more than 10 places. This is the weakest. It should have been where the door was. Unfortunately, these reborn martial artists are too weak. Their vitality is too weak, and the concentration is not enough." The enchanting woman also stared at the boundary wall in front of her. When the few people next to her unleashed their vitality, the crystal-clear boundary wall seemed to tremble slightly. It was very weak. Ordinary people would not be able to notice it at all. The enchanting woman looked for a while and smiled. "Taimu, who do you think set up this sealing boundary? The powerhouses of the land of rebirth. Even the true king is not willing to come. What happened back then?" Taimu shook his head. "Don't ask too much. There are some things that are not beneficial if you know too much. The Pine King won't say. Then we'll do what we have to do. Our only mission in coming here this time is to open the boundary wall and find the remains of the true king who died in the land of rebirth. Once we find the remains, we'll leave immediately. The bounded zone is full of danger. Even the true king will die. We can't stay here for long." "You don't have to say it." The enchanting woman suddenly snorted. "Although we prepared for a long time before coming here this time, Iron Feather still died. Damn it, there's no life energy here. We can't recover our immortal god. This is terrible. How did those original creatures survive?" "Not only did they survive, but they can also cultivate to this realm," Taimu frowned. "Those original creatures have been here for a long time. The bounded zone will erupt with a life tide every once in a while. They can also cultivate during this time. If that's the case, do you think that the next life tide erupts, there will be a weak point in the sealing boundary? I don't know. Let's wait a little longer. The Pine King said that this place will erupt with a life tide once every 3 months. It'll be soon. I really hope to leave this place soon." The two of them chatted. The other rank, 7 and 8 martial artists, only listened quietly. No one dared to interrupt. That rank 7 martial artist was still whipping those humans. You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.